That's Bad Ashley. Redban, how are you?
Good. How are you, buddy? I wasn't expecting to see you this week.
Yeah, my plans were changed. If I was in a band, that's the kind of band I would want to be part of. The sound, the mixture, the decibels, the excitement. You know, you want to sing a silly love song? That's your business. But I want to be in a band like this. Don Barris is here, ladies and gentlemen. I am happy that you decided to come back. We had some unfinished conversation.
Oh, we'll
perhaps,
talk about that. We'll talk.
And I'm glad that we'll probably
It'll be a fun show.
Clear up the muddy waters, perhaps, and
Perhaps, quite possibly.
and get right onto it. I wasn't going to be here this week. I went back east to visit my sister Sue, and
How's Sue?
Sue is she's not in any pain, so we're all excited about that. And,
You know, Johnny Cash, he sang a song about a boy named Sue. And that guy went through a lot of shit in his life. But the moral of the song, at one point, he confronted his father. But the father bullshit him and said, hey, I did this. I knew I wasn't going to be around. So I gave you the name Sue so you'd be tougher and be able to handle yourself. I think, fuck you, you rotten parent. All right, so let me ask you this.
That's an unusual start to Dead Air. Usually the Dead Air doesn't start right off the bat, but I'm glad that you were able to kind of just, put that in right in the beginning to let everybody know that there will be some Dead Air perhaps on this episode. I can
Does
say
anybody
that.
listen to this show at all?
It's building. It's building. So I was sent home by my sister. They didn't want me wandering around Manhattan. I could have found a place for $200 a week in a Dominican woman's apartment. You know, they rent out rooms, but they wanted me back. So I got to visit with my sister, and I came back on Saturday. I was ready to stay there 30 or 40 days.
When does the items of interest segment come up?
Oh, very shortly.
Okay.
That's what we start off with right from the beginning. But so today's June 16th, 2020. This episode number 28. I didn't get the temperature today, but I know it's more than 60 and less than 90. How's that?
Did you get to see your brother?
I saw Jay. I saw Bruce, and that was fascinating.
76.
I have no problem with Jay.
76 degrees in Burbank. Today's sunset will be at 8:06 p.m. or 20:06 for your military friends and family. You enjoy Jay when he comes out to visit, don't you?
He's my favorite Holtzman.
He is.
Yeah.
What about Laura? Want a Coke, Laura? Want a Coke? Want a Coke? Want a Coke? Want a Coke?
I don't really remember her that much.
Some eventful things that happened today I wanted to bring up on the podcast. Some very interesting...
Will this be part of the items of interest segment right now? or
No.
Okay,
We haven't
this is
even
completely
started that. I have
it's
a letter I
completely-
brought. If we get time to hit that letter, I brought another letter. I have some... I brought this for you, Don, some very important sporting events in the history of sports. I think you'll enjoy that. I'd like to ask you 10 questions, if you can do that.
I'll bet you these questions.
And I
are
have
gonna be
my items of
fantastic.
interest. But first, I'd like to go over some items of interest that happened in history today.
Can I just ask a quick question to Redban? Just
Sure.
because I'm promoting and my series of people that follow me, everything I do, it's YouTube's /Redban.
YouTube.com/Redban.
Okay. I just don't want to fuck this up. I don't want people to think, oh, hey, we get a chance to see our hero, and then I give them the wrong address, and they're going all over the fucking internet trying to find
This is the World Wide Web now. Make sure they understand that. This is the World Wide Web. This is... So June 16th is a big day. In 1816, Lord Byron had a party in his house. He's a famous poet in 1816, and he had some people over. And he wanted them to have a contest on who could write a ghost story. And this woman named Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein. 1816. Frankenstein was written at a Lord Byron's party. 1884, the first roller coaster in Coney Island was made, just for that sole purpose, by a gentleman named Lamarcus Thompson. And I have a friend, Dave Kamada,
Can I just ask a question? I
Sure.
hate to interrupt you, and then you can tell me the Dave Kamada story that everyone's looking forward to. Does it ever pick up the show as much as it just did with that opening bit about whatever the fuck about the Frankenstein woman?
Well, it's a popular
Jesus
movie.
Christ.
They've made many variations of that movie, and the story everybody knows about. I figured it'd be wanting, the people would want to know how old that story is.
I think people want to get to the items of interest as quickly as possible.
1816, Frankenstein, and 1884, the roller coaster. It was called the Switchback Railway in Coney Island, and
It's not the same roller coaster, is it?
no,
That's still there?
no. The one big there now is the Cyclone. Next time you're in New York, Redban, you got to go on the Cyclone.
That looks old. It looks like one of those wooden ones that hurts your neck and kill.
Exactly. when you
Wait
get
a minute. How did you guys go over this before and you had the video ready to go?
We don't go
How'd
over.
you find it that fast?
Practice.
Don't touch me. Please don't touch me. We're in a pandemic.
He is the shit, okay? This guy is the... I could come up with anything, item of interest, and he knows how to...
All right, let's
bring
see
it-
this.
So this is a wooden roller coaster, and you're right, Redban. When you get off the Cyclone, you feel like that you've been beat up.
Yeah.
You feel like you've been knocked over the head and your wallet stolen. Your neck, your back. You know, my brother Jay can't go it on anymore.
Why?
Well, he's 70, so he's afraid something will snap and maybe his bowel will break loose or something, or his colon will give way, or...
This is like one of those roller coasters you bring your girl to so that you have an excuse when you beat her later that night.
Man, this is a wooden roller coaster. And so I have a friend, Dave Kamada, who goes all over the world riding roller coasters, and they even have a magazine called Roller Coaster Enthusiast. And it's just wild how everybody has different interests and everybody's into different things, you know. Who ever thought there'd be a magazine just for people who like to ride roller coasters?
Can I just say something? Since you've gotten this podcast, you've really become knowledgeable and you're a much more interesting person. You're the new Joe Rogan.
minus 100 million plus.
How fucking
I don't
badass
think
is
Joe
that?
Rogan lives in a mobile home. The Cresta Mobile Home Park. Yeah, that's a great roller coaster. Redman, you got to go on that the next time you're back east, and it is too much fun. So you go around, and then if you want to go around again, when everybody gets off, you pay another $2 or $3 or something. I forget what it was, and then you can pick the front car. You know, the back car you get the whiplash. The front car is just like it's almost being in an automobile accident without the crash, and that's what you do. That's what you do. You hold your hands up. That's the key sign of a roller coaster enthusiast. If you can keep your hands straight up in the air without holding on, then you know you're a roller coaster champion. But this old roller coaster aren't like these new Magic Mountain. These smooth oiled bearings and everything. And
I'm not giving high five. I'm trying to be polite, raising my hand.
you know, you don't even feel it on those. You know, it's all modern technology. You know, this thing will just wrap you. You come out, you say, "My God, I think I pulled a muscle in my back. I think I have a pinched nerve." So if anybody's listening, you're on the East Coast, you're in New York City, Coney Island is called the Cyclone. And it's probably the most famous roller coaster in the world, as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of other people. Go ahead, Don.
Oh, thank you. I was wondering. I just want to ask you a question, you know, and I don't know if this is.
I wouldn't keep your glasses on. See the way they have their glasses on? You're just looking for a problem. Unless you got a tie wrap on your glasses, you know, a string on the back. I take.
Are people watching this right now? They're seeing all that? Yeah, okay. All right, can I ask the question?
Yeah.
Why have you tried to ruin my friend Karen Wyatt's life?
I've been nothing but supportive of that woman. I bring her bread and from
not
the
the way
valley.
she feels.
She's been on the podcast. She's been on the Simply podcast, Simply Don podcast. I don't know. She needs to come out of her shell. She needs to get physical.
You should talk to her.
I should talk to her. 1903, the Ford Motor Company is incorporated. That's a good one. And
Is this items of interest yet?
No, these are just some of the things that happened today that are kind of.
So you don't have a title for this segment?
I'd just like to start the show with some additional items of interest. I guess these would be the pre-items of interest. You know, in 1903, the Ford Motor Company incorporated, and everybody knows what Ford stands for. And no offense to anybody, but do you know what Ford stands for?
If it's one of those funny things about Ford, what is it? That never works or something like that?
Do you know Redban?
I don't.
Ford stands for fix or repair daily.
Sounds like a Chevy guy made that.
Fix or repair daily. The Ford Motor Company, 1903. I like these dates because it gives people a perspective.
Can I ask a question about that? Is it okay to ask a question, a follow-up question?
Oh,
when
yeah.
you make a statement?
You can interject at any time.
Okay. I wanted to know.
You think you'll be staying for the whole podcast?
Probably not. Probably not. I was wondering on that joke that a lot of people learned in kindergarten. They Ford, daily and all that.
Right.
Was that a big ha-ha over at the Holtzman household when you were a child, and you've just kept it ever since?
I don't think that was brought up on Long Island. That's something that I think later in life,
Why have you ruined my friend Karen Wives' life? Yeah, you can't answer that, can you?
Now this one is kind of sad. This is 1944. George, first name George, last name I'll spell it Stinney, Jr. 14 years old, was the youngest person in the U.S. in the 20th century to be executed.
It's sad.
Yeah, I have some information on that, but I want to run through the rest of them, then we'll go back to it. 1963, the first woman went into space. She was a Russian cosmonaut, solo mission, 20 years old. She was in space for 2 days, 22 hours, and 50 minutes. And she still didn't have time to watch the, what's that stupid movie? The Irish Patient, or the Irish...
Irishman?
The Irishman, yeah. She still didn't have enough time to watch that silly movie. She went 40 times, orbited the Earth 48 times. I guess that means she went around the Earth 48 times. And she's still alive. I think she's 87 or something. And that was 1963, just to give you an idea. And this country, Bhutan, I think it's called Bhutan, in 2010, Bhutan is the first country to ban tobacco. Tobacco. The whole country's banned tobacco.
I didn't bring any people in here. I wanted it to be a safe environment. I had an entourage of people because I don't trust anybody.
I can't believe they're not out there with the windows rolled down in the car.
They are. I also brought some cinder blocks, but I didn't bring any of those in because if need be, I would have loved to have smashed your fucking skull in with a cinder block.
In 2016, Disneyland opens in Shanghai, China. 2016. Now, let's go back to this 1944. This poor fella, I don't know. He was 5 feet 1 inch. He weighed 90 pounds. He was electrocuted in the electric chair in South Carolina. I had some notes on this one. He died today at 7:30 p.m. There he is. Very good. His victims' bodies were found the 24th or the 25th, I'm not sure, of March. And he was executed the same year, 1944, in June, today. So it didn't take them long. He was accused of murdering 2 white girls, ages 7 and 11. So Northern University School of Law decided to get a judicial review. I guess that's when they open up a case and they want to find out exactly what happened.
What year was that? 1974? They reopened the case.
They reopened the case in 2014.
2014, that's right. And he was like innocent or something, right?
Well, it's just it got overturned. The whole case was so it took them 70 years. They're 70 years too late to save this guy's life, and their conclusion was he didn't get a fair trial. And
Sorry.
And why didn't he get a fair trial? Number one, there were no transcripts of the trial. He was convicted of first-degree murder of the 2 girls in less than 10 minutes. It was an all-white jury. The whole trial took 2 hours. And the court refused to hear his appeal.
And he didn't have an attorney, or his parents weren't even present.
So the sad thing about not only him losing his life, perhaps being innocent, is that the real murderer or murderers
Got away with it.
So I found that kind of disturbing and interesting with some of the time that we're going through now. But 14 years old.
I guess when they executed him, the thing was too big, and so like it didn't work, and so
They had to modify it, I guess, huh?
Yeah. It didn't
Put a
work
couple
right.
of phone books on there or something. So
Has this show been given any awards for like journalism or anything like that? Because you really get deep with some of this.
well, that's just what happened today in history.
That's
so
just in the pre-show. That's
it's
before
what happened
items
today in
in the
history.
news.
Yeah.
So do you do anything like your guests that are on the show? Do you talk about them at all?
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk a lot about you. I'm going to get done with these items of interest, and it's going to be all about you. It's going to be all about you. We're going to put you on a high chair, and we're going to take your pants down, and Redban and I are just going to kiss your ass for the rest of the podcast.
Redban doesn't kiss anybody's ass. Doesn't kiss anybody's ass.
Okay, let's do some items of interest.
Oh. Items of interest. Yes. Yes.
We had a wonderful show last week.
Who'd you have last
I'll tell you the truth, Redban, it's going to be hard to top that show today.
Who'd you have last week?
I hope we do top it.
Who'd you have last week?
We had Ben Wilson. We had
People love that Ben too, man.
yeah, he's
We need
gonna
to have him as your new co-host.
he's gonna come back. Doug Williams and
Alonzo.
Bowden. Yeah, it was a wonderful Frank exchange. Frank wasn't here. I mean, Frank as in,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
you know what-
I
you-
knew
you know-
exactly where you're going with that. Can we get to the items of
All
interest
right,
as
let's
quickly
start.
as possible?
This one gave me such. I mean, this says it all. I mean, this is a 9-year-old boy with cerebral palsy and autism. I mean, to have cerebral palsy is enough of a
And then
burden.
he's also autistic.
And then he's autistic, so
Yeah.
he's not only got cerebral palsy, he could be
autistic too.
yeah. So that's a heavy burden. Has raised $100,000 for charity by completing a marathon on his street in northern England. Tobias Weller, who uses a walker to get around, originally intended to raise funds for so-and-so in Children's Hospital and Cerebral Palsy charity by doing a 1 kilometer sponsored walk in the local park. But he then decided to up his ambitions and complete a marathon. Can you believe this?
No.
At the start of his challenge, which took 70 days, Tobias could walk a maximum of 164 feet a day. But towards the end, he was walking half a mile each day as his neighbors and family cheered him on. Every bit of it, he said, has been totally awesome. What a blessed soul.
Yeah, there he is.
I mean, holy cow, our hats are off, and I think everybody's hat is off to this gentleman. I mean, what a pure soul. I mean, to be in that kind of physical shape and to pull that off, I tell you, that guy, he's a saint. He is a saint. So I was very touched by that story, and I think everybody else was. After the first American woman to walk in space, Sol became the first woman to visit the deepest part of the Pacific Ocean. A once-in-a-lifetime day, said astronaut Kelly Sullivan, 68, after completing a 35,810-foot dive in the Challenger Deep. I guess that's that thing that they go in the water. You like the water, Don?
I love the water. Both my parents were swimmers. They were both state champions and swimmers.
Did they throw you in the water like when you were really young, like they do? You see? Oh, you know what I mean. When
I
they
didn't
put
realize this was
when they
gonna be
put
like the roast. battle.
No. You know when they put kids in the water, really, like before they can even walk.
Yeah, I was that person.
So you love the water.
I was yes.
We'll have to go to the beach one day. Oh, there she is. She just wants to do stuff, this one.
It's kind of cool that she went to both extremes, space and the ocean.
Really, that's interesting. Yeah.
And look, yeah. Look at the difference between the spacesuits then and the spacesuits now.
Yeah.
I was telling a friend on the phone, the astronauts who went up in the
Who are you
later.
talking to?
I'm talking to Redban.
Oh, okay.
The astronauts who went up in the. It looks like a scene out of the Woody Allen movie.
Yeah, these are the spacesuits now.
Oh, the space.
That's a spacesuit now?
Yeah.
Oh, holy cow!
Look at the things right there. You know what those are, right?
Oh, wow.
Hey, when do we get... when do we
I bet
get...
it's hard to put a condom on in zero gravity. Oh my God!
Yeah. When do we get to the part where we talk about me?
I'm gonna.
Okay, items of interest.
I'm
Let's
gonna-
get back to that.
After Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, said the U.S. would fund phase 3 human trials of 3 different coronavirus vaccines this summer. Fauci says he's optimistic a vaccine will be approved for use by early 2021. What do you think about vaccines, Redban? I'm kind of nervous about them, I tell you.
For this one, I would probably do it, but for normal flus, I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Warner Brothers' beloved Looney Tunes cartoon franchise has been revived on HBO Max, but Elmer Fudd is no longer armed with his hunting rifle. Fudd will pursue his nemesis Bugs Bunny, equipped with a Saith. This is a new word for me. This is a tool to I guess
It's like what the Grim Reaper.
a sickle. Yeah,
Yeah.
they should have said sickle, but they said Sith here. Scythe, and that's kind of nutty. Look, they don't want him to have a rifle. Look
I mean,
at-
I think that's more fucked up. He's chasing with a huge blade.
What
He's
do
just gonna slice him up and stuff.
What do you think about that, Don?
You're going to talk to me. I didn't have a lot of thought. It's a
No,
fucking,
you can interject it.
It's a fucking cartoon. They make things up.
And who's mayor? Frank Jackson. Okay, so they changed it around. There's no more. That's the original one with the Bugs Bunny. Yeah, I like the Bugs Bunny with the Roadrunner. Beep beep.
Did you just make that sound?
Yeah.
Very good.
Cleveland, whose mayor Frank Jackson in Cleveland said in an interview that there is a public perception that the city is the butthole of the world. A spokesman later said it was unfortunate that angry people from Cleveland were focusing on 7 seconds of a 50-minute interview. Wow.
Well, the word butthole just seems weird for a mayor to use in an
Right.
interview.
Here's some news from the U.S. Georgia's statewide primary elections this week were marred in chaos at polling places, with some voters forced to spend virtually the entire day in line. I don't know why they don't make the voting like over 2 days or something. I don't know what this is. They're going to vote from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's it. you
Yeah,
know.
make it a voting week. Why
A
not?
whole week. Make it easy for people to cast their vote, but that's not the way they want it. They want it their way. People in power want to keep things just
So
the
this
way
is
it
becoming
is.
kind of like a political show.
Oh no, we don't do politics on this show. We stay away from that. COVID-19 cases in Arizona nearly doubled last week, and Texas recorded 2 days of record hospitalizations, while 19 other states reported increases in cases. Intensive care units in Arizona were becoming alarmingly crowded after the state reopened 28,296 cases as of this week, with increases over 13 of the past 15 days. Texas, one of the first states to ease its stay-at-home order and reopen businesses, reported a 36% spike in cases.
Shouldn't there have been a bunch of spikes because all these people were protesting and looting and things like that and coming in contact with other people?
Certainly should be factored in. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
It's definitely coming. Florida.
You think the second wave is coming?
I think so. Florida. There was a news article today that Florida is shutting down bars, some bars again. Like bar owners are shutting it down because it's all the cases are getting so bad in Florida.
It doesn't bode well for the Comedy Store.
No, it doesn't.
New York City began to reopen this week, ending a 78-day lockdown during which nearly 22,000 people died from COVID-19. And this one is good. Is this one good? Oh, this is about taking down the statues. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam announced plans last week to take down 20-foot, 130-year-old statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee from Richmond's Monument Avenue, as outrage over racist policing led to the removal of Confederate monuments and symbols of slavery across the country. So that's going on. What do you think? You think they should take it down? And
My personal feeling is to stay the fuck away from it. I was doing all right. Everything was going good. I worked over at my job on the TV show that I work on. I work 4 days a week. I'd come home, I'd do my other stuff, and then I'd go to the Comedy Store every night and close out. My life has just fucking sucked, so fuck everybody.
All right. Well, that's definitely a different opinion. And on this show, Dead Air, we respect everybody's opinion, no matter what it is. So I want to thank you for being completely honest.
Why did you ruin my friend Karen Wyeth's life? Can
This
you
is,
answer that question?
Some items from overseas. There's a big oil spill in the Antarctic. Russia was racing this week to clean up a massive diesel spill that is oozing towards a nature reserve in the Arctic Circle. Evidently, the warm climate has broken the ice, and the tank that was holding all this diesel fuel was damaged, and now they got an oil spill headed for the natural nature reserve, which is what oil wants to do. It loves natural nature reserves. It loves pristine, beautiful, untouched property. It just loves it. It's like the oil just wants to come out of the engine and onto the driveway. Oil is just taken out of the ground, and then for the whole life of that oil, it just wants to go back in the ground. Can you make a car engine? That's why this Tesla is so great. No fluids leaking all over the place. Oh, you got a leak in the oil pan. We got to change the gasket. You got to change the gasket on the head gasket. You got a leak in power steering fluid. You got a leak in this. You got a leak in that. The whole damn thing is a sieve. The whole thing is a sieve. That's why I envy people who live in cities that take public transportation. They never have to worry about car insurance and smog checks and registration and fuel and oil and maintenance. Oh my God! It's like an apparatus. It's like a. And I know this is bad for me to talk like this because I'm in the car capital of the world, California. You know, everything's about your car.
You're blocking my camera, I think.
No, sorry.
Hey, do you consider yourself an angry person?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, passionate, please. All right, so there's a big oil spill over there. And then we have a big problem in Lagos, Nigeria. Nigerian woman took to the streets in cities across the country this week to protest what they say is a hidden epidemic of rape and sexual violence. So be careful, women, if you're going there for a holiday. I don't know. They also got some problems in Iran with father's murder of his 14-year-old daughter has sparked an Iranian national conversation about the abuse of women and girls in the country. Before he beheaded his sleeping daughter with a sickle.
Just like Elmer Fudd.
Australia, a 10-foot great white shark mauled a 60-year-old surfer to death off the coast of Australia this week. The third deadly attack this year. Rob Pertini was surfing with two friends when the shark swam up to the group and bit his leg off. Jesus. And in New Zealand has declared itself free of COVID-19. They did a good job over there in New Zealand. They cleaned it all up, and now they're free and clear. Michael Jordan pledged last week to give $100 million over the next decade to improve racial inequality, social justice, and greater access to education after the killing of George Floyd. The billionaire basketball legend and owner of the NBA Charlotte Hornets admitted he doesn't know specifically where the money will go, yet the donation coming from him and Nike's Jordan brand make a shift for Jordan, who was stubbornly apolitical as a player, famously saying, Republicans buy sneakers too.
Laugh.
But he now says black people have been beaten down for so many years, it sucks your soul, adding, this is a tipping point. We need to make a stand. So that's nice. He's got enough money. He can afford $100 million.
Yes.
And,
Can I read something that I took as kind of funny? I took a picture of the two of us at the start of the show and said, "Hey, I'm on the
Dead air.
I thought it was dead person. But anyway, somebody left a comment. Hey, that's the guy that blew off that's the guy whose brother blew off Jimmy Kimmel Live tickets because it was raining.
Yeah, that's right. I guess we'll have to get into that story as well.
You can do whatever you want. It's your show.
An alleged spy pigeon captured by Indian forces after it crossed the border with Pakistan has been cleared of suspicion and returned to its owner. The bird had numbers attached to its blue ring on its leg, which Indian authorities suspected were codes for militant groups. But the pigeon's owner, a fisherman named Habashababush, boo 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 boo.
Did you pronounce that correctly?
I think I did. And explained that he put his phone number on the bird in case it did not return from a pigeon race. It's just an innocent bird, Habababoo said. Everybody knows those numbers don't, that's just identifiers. These Indians are very suspicious people, these Indians. Not the American Indians, the Indians over there in India.
Didn't India just today, kill a bunch of Chinese military people? They're about to start a war with China.
Yeah, they had a skirmish up there where they...
That should have been the headline of the items of interest, and yet it's way
they
into the
also took over the autonomy of Kashmir, and they shut down the complete internet. So the guy running India is the same guy running, certain places. I mean, I don't know what's happening. It's like... a Roman cobbler is making giant shoes in an attempt to get people to follow social distancing rules. Giorgio Loop, 55, was inspired to make the 2.5-foot-long shoes, which cost $115 a pair, after seeing people standing too close together at a market in the Transylvanian city of Karluf. The lifelong cobbler. Yeah, this wasn't too long ago. China will kick their ass. I don't know what they're thinking they're going to do. China will kick anybody's ass. I mean, if they run out of bombs, they'll just start dropping Chinese people on you. They got too many people,
Can I say that might be the most racist thing I've ever heard of in my life?
Well, you better write it down so you don't forget. The lifelong cobbler said that if the two people wearing his shoes were facing each other, they'd be 5 feet apart. Maybe that way they'll keep their distance, he said. A 13-year-old boy has graduated from California Community College after completing 4 associate degrees in 2 years. Jack Rico enrolled in Fullerton College at the age of 11 and obtained degrees in history, human expression, social behavior, and social science, all while maintaining a 4.0 GPA, grade point average. He is now bound for the University of Nevada on full scholarship and will study gambling and blackjack. No.
You put a joke
Are you going to get involved in the items of interest?
I don't know what to say. I don't want because you see, the last time I got banned from here, and because
you didn't get banned.
You pushed a group of waitresses over the 1 week that I was supposed to come in.
That was a good show.
I'm sure it was, but they could have done it at any time.
Yeah, be sure the plans are made to do a living. I'm 13, he said. I don't know really have a whole life thing figured out. So he doesn't know what he wants to do, but he's a smart kid.
These you just took it out of one magazine, or did you go various magazines for your item?
No,
of
this is the
interest?
magazine that I subscribe to.
Which one is that?
It's called The Week.
And you just go through
It's
there,
my magazine. I can do whatever I want with it.
and you've made a whole bit called items of interest. And you just
It's not a bit. It's items of interest. People want to hear things that are interesting. I wouldn't belittle it to call it a bit.
Do you get a lot of mail talking about how they love the items of interest?
There's a lot
segment?
of people that enjoy it. They like items of interest.
Is there any truth to that at all, Redman?
Yeah.
What do they say? Give me some quotes of what they say about the items of interest.
Sometimes they say they're too long. A lot of people want me to shorten them up, so I've done that. You know, I've just highlighted like the first part of a paragraph instead of reading the whole paragraph. So we can get to talking about you and your career and everything going on at the network. And it's going to be a lot of interesting talk ahead. But I'm not going to come all the way to Burbank to do 40 minutes, all right? You know, and people like the long version, too.
I'm not going to come from the high desert just to get lied to.
Do you have that tape? Can you show that tape?
No, I can't. But you know what? It's coming on the worldwide internet very soon.
I hope so.
Very funny.
The last American receiving a Civil War pension has died at the age of 90. Irene Tiblett received $73.13 a month for her father Moses Triplett's service in the 3rd North Carolina Mounted Infantry, a Union regiment known as Kurt's Raiders, which carried out a campaign of sabotage. Moses, who fathered Irene at the age of 83, died in 1938 at the age of 92. So you can have kids. It's like that. You can have kids when you're real old. When you're, have kids when you're real old, and just when it's time to teach them how to play baseball, you croak.
Yeah, but also when you have that kids at that old of an age, don't you like usually have like issues, like health issues where you have to run marathons and stuff to?
Well, that's why you gotta. Don, do you want to comment on this? Can you help me
Yes,
out
I
here,
do.
Don?
Yeah. You want to comment?
know.
I'm getting comments from people that I know, and they're saying,
Get off that podcast now. Run?
What did Brian do to Karen? Why did Brian do to Karen? What he did to Karen is a national tragedy that we never get over as people.
Las Vegas casinos were allowed to reopen last week, 78 days after they were shut down. Employees are required to wear masks, but patrons are not, though they do undergo temperature checks. And all you people who like roulette, some casinos have added 3 zeros now. Did I talk about this already?
No.
3 zeros. 00 and 10 on the roulette table. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite game is roulette. They added when I went to see Harris Pete at the Laugh Factory, and I noticed that at that casino, and I think the other casinos are doing it.
What's that mean? The odds are worse?
Yeah, it's just another. It's like
It's another number.
It's like
Jesus.
Wheel of Fortune. You ever watch Wheel of Fortune on television? Every spin is bankrupt.
Yeah.
I hate the show. I can't stand it because it's so fixed.
Yeah.
Just let the people win. This is a network. The show goes all over the world. You're worrying about, everything.
Is this an
bankrupt.
items of interest?
This is this conversation came out of an item of interest.
That's
how
throw,
it works.
Should I throw something in there?
Oh, yeah, heck
about
yeah.
game shows? I worked on a game show that Dick Clark was the producer, and it was a show where people won money. Remember when they had the Millionaire Show come out, and that was very popular? They had it like 4 nights a week or something. This came out, and there was a guy. It was so crazy because there was I was standing on the floor, and there were 3 unbelievably beautiful women, and they were pulling clearly for this one guy who looked like he was a little off, and he won tons of money. These girls were crying their eyes out because they were so happy for this guy that won all this money. And he went out and he won tons of money. They made a big thing of it. Then the show was canceled. And you don't get paid if they don't air your episode.
Oh, fuck.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Oh my! See that?
So this guy won. He had all that, and then they didn't air it because the show was canceled, and so he got nothing.
And I bet when he signed the paperwork to be on the television show, it was probably hidden someplace in there. The show must air for you to collect
maybe.
money.
I'm
Wow,
sure
that's
they didn't.
fucked up.
I'm sure they didn't. And it was like because you started like these girls were so into him doing well, and they're just bawling their eyes out because they were so happy for this dude. And then a few weeks later, I found out, show canceled. He gets nothing.
Earl Schenkel said the same thing about Schenkel. The same thing when he was on Roast Battle at Comedy Central or something. As soon as you're no longer you won or something, it's like there's somebody with an airline ticket that they give you as soon as, like they're waiting in the wings of the studio. Here. You know, they can't get rid of you quick enough. And another thing too, have you seen Cleveland? What was the name of that sitcom?
It's a city in Ohio.
What was the Drew Carey's?
Yes.
He's on Price is Right. Is that
Yes.
it? Did you know what they're doing on that show?
No.
There used to be all female girls showing
Right.
off the prizes. They got hairy legs now.
Yeah.
They got guys. I saw that. I couldn't believe it. It's like, I don't want to see guys. Come on. What is this? Can anything just stay the way it is? Does everything have to change?
Yeah, I guess it does.
I guess it does. What's next? The two-headed monster?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. See what I mean, Don?
Now
See what I mean, Don? Now I'm tuning in. Oh, my
But
God.
you know what? There's mainly women that watch.
I was
this
going to
show.
say it's actually really smart and it makes a lot of sense because I'd probably say 75% of the audience is women.
Yeah.
Couch potatoes, they
And
call
people
them.
that watch
They
it.
stay home all day eating bombs and watching daytime television. God forbid they got the vacuum out of the closet and get some dust off of the bottom of the furniture or something. You come home and you say, honey, what did you do today? No answer. Yeah, so that's, so watch out for that roulette table. It's 0, 00, and now 000. How greedy. I mean, it's just a blatant greed.
Well, it will make them more money, and
Yeah.
they're in the business of making money.
Right. And that's what I have a problem with. At least 33.3 million small businesses, 22% of all the firms in the U.S. shut their doors between February and April. For comparison, 730,000 businesses closed between the start and end of the Great Recession. I don't know what recession they're talking about now. Is that the one in 2008? They got so many recessions. They say that's built into the economy, and they do that on purpose. These
How
people,
long is the items of interest segment?
Oh, this
now?
is coming to a close now.
Okay, yeah,
These are
that's
modified.
Yeah.
Colleges
so
in
they're
the
modified.
Colleges in the U.S. earn roughly 600. This is another one that got my goat. Listen to this, Redban and Don.
Oh, thank you.
Colleges in the U.S. earn roughly $600 billion per year, equivalent to the combined annual revenue of tech firms Google, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Netflix, and Twitter. So your natural question would be then, why do you have to keep raising the price of tuition every freaking year?
It's funny how a lot of these places, they're trying to make money, and they can get away with it. Where they
They're getting away with it.
where they get screwed.
They're getting away with
gonna
it. I'm just saying, I
they're
don't
going
know.
to fuck up the college football season this year. And like at a university, almost all the sports, the money that they make from
huge.
college football is what pays for everything else.
And that's why they want to, I think in California, they're going to want to start paying those athletes.
Yeah.
And everybody's upset about that because,
Whoa.
this is a country that had slavery. Imagine being an owner of a plantation or a business or a factory and your payroll was 0.0. No payroll.
But that's not true because they had to feed those people.
Well, they
That
fed
co-
them and they
but
housed
that costs
them.
money,
But there were
and
no.
all that costs money.
But
So they did get. What is this you have on right here?
this is a South Park.
It's Mr. Slave.
How does that have anything to do with what Brian was talking about?
Slavery.
It dovetails. It dovetails. The show is continually dovetailing. I don't know where did they get.
What do you have any idea? I know that you probably your research team.
Well, you
will
see
know
a lot of podcasts. What is
Yeah.
this? Why is this podcast such a foreign creature to you? What goes on other podcasts?
People kind of let other people, the guests, talk.
What do you want to talk about, Don?
I don't
I think
know.
we had this time. Yes.
I don't know.
You know what
You're
I
the
mean?
host. You bring it in. Like you come on mine, I bring in somebody. I tried to work out things with Karen, but you don't even want to talk about that here. I bring that up, and you change your mind. You ruined her life, and you have nothing to say about
Her
that.
life is fine. She has access to medical care. She's breaking her arm or her ankle every 5 minutes. She's just fine. I asked her, I said, who paid for that broken arm? And she got all upset, like, how dare you? I'm just curious. I want to know who's paying for what health care. I'm very curious about that. And she didn't want to answer that. She thought that was a private thing. Oh, I said,
So you're saying that Karen is? Let me ask you
I
this.
read about a guy who went in the hospital for the coronavirus. No hospital stays, no nothing. The bill was like $100,000. $100,000. That's a bill I'm not paying. I'm not paying any medical bills. I don't care. I'm not paying for anything. I'm not paying to give people more money that they don't need. It's just.
And there's nothing they do about it either. They'll have a few people call
No,
you for a while.
I heard medical bills aren't. They don't ruin your record.
Yeah, they don't affect your credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People should know that. You get a bill from a medical provider, you just wipe your ass with it and throw it away.
Okay, that's a little disrespectful.
But
Hey, are we near the end of?
oh
the
yeah,
items
yeah.
of
This
interest?
is
Okay.
going real quick.
It's going great too.
Of the 312,000 jobs the healthcare sector added in May, 245,000 were in dentist's office. This is another rip-off, these dental clinics and dental offices.
Can I tell you this?
God.
They looked up. I went to a dentist to have some work done, and they saw that I have good insurance, so they wanted to do everything they could.
Yeah.
Oh, you ought to.
Deep cleaning.
Yeah.
Oh, you need a gum graft. Your
Yeah.
gums are receding.
Exactly.
Well, I'm 58 years old, okay? My gums are going to recede. I've been eating steak and hamburgers and pulling beer caps off with my teeth. There's going to be some reduction in gums, and I'm not doing anything about it. As long as your teeth are not falling out of your mouth, your gums are fine. Yeah,
Yes.
and they tried to do everything to you. See,
Oh, because they saw that you had good insurance.
yeah. You're just a dollar sign. You're a big dollar sign
Exactly.
walking in there. And then you're going to say, well, they're there to make money. I know that. But that doesn't mean I'm happy with it. It's like when you buy something at these CVS's or any other, oh, you owe me a penny. Give me a penny.
What are you talking about?
They want the whole thing.
So if it's $2.01. They won't let you slide.
They don't let you slide. It's
I hate the places that, let's say it's 74 cents, they give you a quarter back. Hey, wait a second. And you can't really argue the fact, where's my fucking penny? But it happens everywhere. It's like, how dare you? How fucking dare you?
And then they want to charge you for bags. You got to remember to say, I want a bag.
No, the thing is, getting a drink and you need to get a straw.
Oh, good luck. Good luck trying to get a straw. Yeah.
What a time we're living in. This is the worst thing ever. People will talk about this forever, and it's like,
Especially like you. You're kind of particular. You like a certain amount of service.
Oh.
You have money. You're working for the network. This is like you didn't sign up for this, right?
now I have no money. No money coming in. Thank God for Jimmy Kimmel giving me money out of his pocket.
Oh, you must have reserve.
I have it, but that's going through pretty quick. What the fuck, man? And everything was going good. Everything was going good. Now it's been taken away. Motherfuckers. Motherfuckers.
I know. It started off, of course, losing Kobe Bryant was horrible. I watched his, the retirement game.
Yes.
Unbelievable. I said, why is he retiring? Why?
And he scored 60 points.
He wasn't even looking at the basket. I think he was looking at his wife and his kids, and he threw the ball
Yeah,
over his
well.
head like this, and it went in. I mean, why was he retiring?
Because
He
it was
scored like
time.
60
It was time,
points?
Because it's not like one game. He put everything into one game, but it's like the entire season.
God, he was
That's the
good. God, he was great, huh?
thing. Yes, he was. There's a lot of great athletes. Los Angeles has had Magic Johnson. He was 6'8", and he was a point guard. Nobody had ever that didn't happen before. He came here and he was spectacular. One of the great basketball players.
We'll be right back with the scores of the games on Saturday. Don't go away. No, I love sports. I love
No,
the
you
people.
don't.
That's what I do. I love to listen to people who know all the names. It's just fascinating. I mean, I don't know any of the names. I mean,
Have you ever had a favorite team?
not religiously.
Okay.
I had a favorite massage parlor, but never a favorite team.
Name 4 teams. Name 4
In what
professional
sport?
teams.
In what
Any
sport?
sport. You can name them any
The Miami Dolphins,
1.
the Buffalo Bills, the
2,
New York Jets, the New
3.
York Giants.
All right, there's 4.
This is a great quiz. Quiz me again on something.
All right, give me 2 more.
You think people who ride horses are athletes? We had a big discussion with Alonzo last week. He really put me in my place.
What did he say?
He said they're all athletes. You know, they need to
Yeah.
concentrate, and even if they're
Exactly.
racing in the car, you know,
Because it's controlling something. It's
it's concentration. That's what
right,
he was saying.
and it's athletic ability.
But I call them
a true athlete. There are athletic builds. There are people that are great athletically, but they're not athletes because they don't think. They don't use their fucking head. So an athlete is, I look at it, the definition of me, an athlete is somebody that knows also how the game is played, how to win, how to take every advantage of every little thing. There's a lot of people that don't. That's the reason people like Kobe Bryant. He learned the game backwards and
And he
forwards.
worked hard, even
Yes,
though he was
he
so
did.
great.
Yeah.
Last one to leave practice, first one there. And then they also had the game, the 1986 game against Boston and the New York Mets.
Oh, the one where the ball went through
He
Bill
didn't-
Buckner.
He didn't put his mitt down. They always tell you Little League. Did you play Little League, Redban?
No.
So you're comparing Bill Buckner's
He didn't put the mitt down. You got to put the mitt.
1986 World Series error to your Little League team. Okay, go on.
Oh, that was something. But yeah, we're gonna get into some sports. I'm glad you.
Great.
You know a lot about all the sports.
Yeah,
Wow.
which is terrible. You know, I do see a lot of games like they play the Super Bowls, and they've had a lot of playoff games, and it's kind of fun because they put on these great games, and I don't know the end result, and you're watching these teams like one, I think it was Kansas City and New England. They both scored in the 50s. Oh, it was L.A. Rams and Kansas City, and I didn't know the ending score.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs. And they were going back and forth, scoring touchdowns. They both scored in the 50s. And what a great,
It
exciting
was like
game.
a high school game.
Right.
That's why they have
But
to.
I didn't know the end result, so it was cool to watch.
See, this is my problem with it with the NFL. I can't fall in
Don't
love with
point your
it.
finger at me.
I can't fall in love with it because it's too predictable.
No, it
Fourth
isn't.
down, punt.
No.
They need to go on fourth down. I don't care where the hell they are on the field. You know how much
Okay.
more exciting would it be?
Do you know the onside kick? Do you
get-
know what that is?
Oh yeah.
Do you
That's-
know what they tried to do this year? They tried to get a rule passed that you had a chance if it was, instead of taking an onside kick, they'd put the ball and they'd call it 4th and 15, and you could try to make a play and get a first down. If you got the first down, you could because now you'd have to try to kick the ball, and there could be a lot of injuries because the ball's going crazy and people are just going nuts. But this is a way that it's still hard to gain 15 yards in one play. So you would be not opposed or opposed to something like that?
I think they're trying to. There's too many flags being thrown. If you just look at the quarterback, it's a penalty. They're watering down the game. Just watering.
Oh, is that what you hate? You like it in the old, like the 60s where men were men.
I don't even think they
Nichties.
should. I don't even think they should wear helmets. Let them bash their heads against each other, and if your head falls off, you can call it penalty.
What's that game that they play? It's like football, but they don't wear helmets or anything. But they
Rugby.
Rugby. What a tough game. Everybody's just in there beating the fuck out of you every play.
Cauliflower ear like this.
Yeah. Ooh, wrestling.
But oh shit! Hey now! I thought you weren't gonna do that. Not in front of the team.
Not in front of the other players.
Shutter jewelry stores. Oh, this is another one. See what these items of interest are is they reveal the truth about stuff.
Have you talked to Adam eBay at all?
No, I have no business talking to him.
He's a great guy.
Club is closed. There's no spots being given out.
He's
I have no business with him.
He's a good guy.
He flies out. He flies south for the winter anyway, or the summer. I don't know what he's doing. He's a water bird. He's,
Go back
he's
to
a
your
large
points
water
of
bird.
interest. I'm sorry.
I got no business with that guy. What can he do for me
Go
now?
back
The
to your
business
items
is closed.
of interest. Go back to your items of interest.
This one is another one. This is Redban is going to agree with me on this. This is like the biggest fake there is. Shuttered jewelry stores mean the 5 biggest diamond producers are sitting on roughly $3.5 billion in excess diamonds. A diamond auction in May yielded just $35 million for De Beers, $381 million less than the firm sold the same time last year. This diamond, they got more diamonds than you know what to do. It's like Harley Davidson. They don't make that many Harley Davidsons so they can increase the price and make them more valuable. You know how many diamonds are just rocks?
Yes.
They're just rocks.
Yes.
They're polished rocks.
Yes.
The whole thing is a marketing ploy.
Yeah. Oh, you're really breaking the case on that.
Well, it's part of the
Yeah.
items of interest. I thought I just can't stand paying for stuff that's not worth stuff.
And you can also find this article in The Week magazine. So if you want to read more
I
about
suggest anybody. This covers everything. This covers every subject there out there, and it serves me well because it cuts down on my research time. How am I going to research all this without this magazine?
maybe you could have.
What kind of podcast would there be without items of interest?
I don't know.
Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Boeing delivered 4 jets in May. Wow, everybody. 4 jets in stupid Boeing.
I did not know there would be sound effects on this show. How cool is that?
Boeing delivered 4 jets in May. All our hats are off to you, Boeing, you clowns. You can make a car that doesn't work, but don't make an airplane that doesn't work, you silly gooses.
Silly gooses.
God, they've lost my confidence, that company. Its lowest total in the month in 6 decades. 60 years. Lowest total for the month in 60 years. Customers canceled orders for 18 planes, including 14, I'll call them the killer jets, 737 MAX jets. God. I had some rough landings, too, I tell you. Takeoffs, too. You just feel like saying, take off already. You're going to run out of room here. You're going to run out of...
Did you see where they caught some people, like at some airline? They were fucking in the cockpit.
That was a while back. There was some sex
Yeah.
going on. I heard about that. Yeah, the
Yeah.
flight attendants are young and they're frisky and they want
Oh,
to find
my
a
God,
pilot.
That is the ultimate fantasy. When you're coming back from like New York to L.A. and you've got that long journey and it's late and you just see that little fucking cock tease walking back and forth down the hall, rubbing her leg against mine. Oh, she knows what she's looking for.
Just wish the bathrooms were a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Did you know? Why don't we tell them about the story about the wrestler? Want to hear a funny story?
I'll listen.
Al Sankel told us.
Earl
Sankel. He
Sankel?
said Andre the Giant was so large that when he had to go poo-poo, or I guess number 1, 2, they had to have a bucket and they used to bring it to him in his seat area because he couldn't fit in the bathroom. Do you believe that?
Yeah, you got to. And that's what you got out of the Earl Sankel interview.
Well, he's a hockey enthusiast.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
We
is.
didn't even touch on that.
No, you didn't.
He knows everything about hockey, all the plays, the color. It's just amazing.
There he is, right there.
Oh my word!
Think of the logs that he creates. Should I flush the toilet now? The water won't go down.
He's breaking the toilet seat too. If he was at my house, I'd ask him to go out in the backyard. I mean, don't poo in my house, please. Don't poo in my house.
His corn would look like freckles.
Jeez, but he made a lot of money. He had a good career.
And now back to items of interest. And here he is, your host of items of interest, Brian Holtzman.
The 6th mass extinction of wildlife on Earth is already underway, scientists say. It's happening much faster than previously thought. Researchers analyzed data on more than 29,400 endangered land vertebrates. They found out that about 500 critically endangered species, those with 1,000 or fewer individual left, including the rhino, the frog, the giant tortoise, were likely to become extinct in the next 20 years. In comparison, 543 species are known to have gone extinct over the past century or 100 years, a level of loss that would normally take 10,000 years. Holy cow, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And another 388 species currently have populations between 5,000 and 1,000. Scientists say the loss of some of these animals, most of which live in the tropics, could trigger a domino effect in which the extinction of other species causes the decline of another that is dependent on it, eventually threatening the entire animal planet or ecosystem. While previous mass extinctions were the result of natural causes, the most recent being the asteroid strike that wiped out the dinosaurs. This one being driven by humans, with habitat destruction, wildlife trade, the main factors. So watch out.
Here's what I'd like to throw at
LA
you.
Zoo's closed, by the way.
Yeah.
Does that mean they moved the animals out?
Oh, that's funny. That would be funny. Hey, let me throw this at
They go
you.
to
Would you
Motel 6.
consider what happened recently? Is that considered a riot?
What? What was that?
What was going on in Melrose and all these places? Did you? By the way, I live very close to there. It was.
I'm not worried about a store that sells jeans, that ripped jeans for $650.
Okay, all right.
You know,
but what about the weed
I can't
places?
afford any.
What about the weed places? They were broken.
Up in smoke.
Yeah, they were. But did you know this? Would you consider it a riot? Yes or no? I asked Redban. Redban, who has a little knowledge on everything.
I mean, it was a protest that became a riot. Yeah.
Okay, but you would put it in a riot category because I put it in a riot category. That means in '65 there was a riot in Los Angeles. 27 years later, in '92, there's the Rodney King riot. 28 years later, there was this. So every 27, 28 years, there's a riot in L.A. So prepare yourself for the year 2048.
I want you out of here.
All
I
right.
want you out of this pocket. No.
Oh, you're joking? Okay, then I'll stay. Are we done with the items of interest?
Getting
yet?
there. This is.
Can I ask you
there's
this?
There's always one for Redban. This is another Tesla story. he makes the items of interest every week. Go ahead, Don. What are you gonna say?
No, I mean, no. Go ahead with this. I want to see if there's excitement in Redban's face when
he
you do
loves
this
it.
Tesla
He loves
story.
it. He loves it. He took me for a ride in his car. Did you know that? Have you been in a Tesla?
No one's ever given me a ride in a Tesla. No.
Elliot,
What is so special about a Tesla?
it's just a space age. It's got no fluids. It's got no dripping fluids all over the freaking place. That's what's special about it.
Why are you getting angry at me? I asked you a
It's
question.
a clean car. It's
Is that
clean.
how would you describe a Tesla?
It's like a rocket ship. It goes zero. It has like instant torque.
Is it fast?
Yeah.
It doesn't build like a gasoline powered engine. It's just automatic.
It's like on.
It's like the doors in Star Trek, you know. You know, it's just
Wait, can you do that sound again so I can? Okay.
yeah. It's just instant. There's no pull. There's no chain. There's no belt. There's no gear.
Okay, get to the items of interest story about the Tesla.
It looks like your differential's leaking. We're gonna have to serve the oil in your differential. Your what do they call it? The
Differential.
you got you leaking all. You know, it's just every part of the car is leaking. Is there any part of the car that doesn't leak? The radio doesn't leak. Jesus.
Look at
You
that.
can't make a car engine that doesn't leak.
Look at that. Look at that. Where the heart is. Whose name is that?
Wow.
And
Karen?
you-
Karen, is that you?
Karen Wythe. She liked that picture.
Karen? Wow. She did, huh?
Yeah.
Karen, why don't you go over to that bay window in your apartment that overlooks the street and open the curtains and take your top off and show the neighbors what you've been hiding for so long, you little...
Do you think you'll end up marrying her? I've said eventually you will. I told her that recently.
Elon Musk said it's time to break up Amazon after it rejected a book that questions whether the coronavirus is as deadly as public health experts say. So-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, the book titled Unreported Truths About COVID-19 and Lockdowns was written by Alex Brenson, a former reporter for so-and-so and so-and-so who has become a prominent coronavirus, he talks about it a lot. So Tesla CEO has reportedly questioned the severity of the pandemic. There he is. And complained about restrictions on Tesla's Fremont, California plant after Musk learned that Benson's book had been rejected by Amazon's self-publishing arm. If you're self-publishing a book, you shouldn't be rejected.
Right. I mean, how many books does Amazon sell that's about taking heroin is great or, anything?
Stupid Amazon.
But
But
I guess because Elon said that and he caused such a stir that they finally allowed him to put his book on there.
Right. He tweeted his pissed offness at Amazon Jeff Bezos and added, "Monopolies are wrong." It's too late. Yeah, we all know monopolies are wrong, but it's kind of late. Yeah, every damn thing is a monopoly.
Can I just say one thing? I hate to interrupt the items of interest segment of the show, but there's somebody that made a real blunder here because they said on one of the pictures, there's a picture of myself and you on my Instagram, and somebody said, "I did not know that Louis Mosier had a podcast." This is not Louis Mosier's podcast. This is Brian Holtzman. So just to straighten them up. Back to points of interest.
Amazon reversed itself shortly after the turnabout for which Branson credits Musk. So that's an interesting story.
That's great.
This is publicist who helped create Star Wars phenomenon. You want to hear about that one? Don?
Yeah. If we can make this items of interest
This
thing
is
longer,
a show
I'd
business
love it.
one. In 1975, Charles Lipcott was hired to drum up publicity for a science fiction movie that was about to start filming in the in the desert, Tucsonian?
Tucson.
No,
Tuscan.
Tucsonian desert. That place that had I think it's the country that started the. Oh geez. This is embarrassing. You're on a podcast. You're
Yeah,
supposed to keep talking.
exactly.
You
You're
can't
supposed to
stop
have
and
some
say,
kno-
"Well, my God, what am I saying?"
Supposed to have some
Oh, my-
knowledge or at least some research done.
No,
for
it's
this
that
segment.
country that started the, those big protests against governments. What do they call that?
Oh.
We got our own protest here. Everybody's forgetting about the other protests that went
I-
on all over the world.
See, I would never talk about this on my podcast.
What would you talk about?
I would probably talk a little bit about why.
I didn't even see this movie. I have to watch
Didn't you
this.
really?
This is the one in 70. Where was I? God, you saw this one? 1975?
Tunisia?
I believe
Tasmania?
wasn't it in '77 actually? What was the year that it came out?
1975.
It did come out in '75.
75.
Oh, I didn't know.
Is this the best Star Wars in them all?
No.
No?
Can I tell you
mean-
who I've met and who is like an unbelievably wonderful person? And I actually have pictures with him. Mark Hamill.
He seems like a really nice guy.
He is the coolest fucking dude.
It's really weird. Like, I didn't know as a kid that he got in that accident. So if you look at the first Star Wars and then you look at the second Star Wars, he looks really different because his face was all reshaped from
Is
being
that
in
true?
like a car accident or a motorcycle accident. Yeah.
Whoa.
The country they were filming in is TunisIan, and it's that country in North Africa, next to Libya.
You know, one of the
I
songs
think.
from the album Toto 4 that won all these Grammy Awards in 1982 was a song called Africa. Back to you.
Yeah, that's a weird song. What was that? Just say the words of that. I heard that the other day on the radio. All the
Which-
nights and just, what is that all about anyway? You know what I'm talking about?
About the song.
Yeah. What
It's
are they,
not the hardest thing.
What are they talking about?
Well, it was so good that was a #1 song for Toto in 1982, and then Weezer.
Oh,
redid-
wow. Sorry, Don. Holy cow, that was a bad accident. That's without the makeup, I guess, huh? Or is that how he looked
I
in
think
the
that's
movie?
without the makeup, yeah.
Oh, wow. Jeez, they got to put smaller stitches than that. Oh, my God, those are big stitches.
He is a good guy, boy. I'm glad that he was able to do
I
it.
bet that was a life-changing
Wait a
event
minute,
for
what did
him.
that say? 77.
Jeez. Would you rather have your leg removed or have those stitches on your face? I don't know. It's a question. You know, You know, we can damage your face and make you look like a scar face, or you can have one leg.
But he doesn't look bad in there, does
Can
he?
give you a.
What do you think,
Could give you a
Redban?
fake leg. You'd have two legs, and then your face wouldn't be scarred up. What is your answer? I just don't know. I just can't
I was
make up
going
my
about
mind
65, 70 miles an hour, speeding, going too fast. And what happened, I think, was that I tried to negotiate an off-ramp and lost control, tumbled over, and went off the road. I fractured my nose and my cheek.
Was this a car, Don?
Yeah.
I thought you said it was a motorcycle.
Or I think it was a car.
Oh, it's a Corvette. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, these cars.
Or no cars,
you
no
gotta
traffic.
be careful.
Thank God.
I go. The most I'll go on the freeway is 70. If you pass me, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go more than 70. 70 is fast enough for me. I mean, I don't know how fast you want to go. How fast do you go, Don?
I try to get it. If there's no cars, I try to get over 100.
You're going to let me come back on the show and be a guest in the green room when it starts up again?
On Kimmel? We had a big talk with ABC, and they have a new executive producer that came in. And
I used to work for ABC.
what'd you do for ABC?
I did a little
What'd you do?
tap dance. A little.
What'd you do?
I was the white guy on My Wife and Kids for 4 episodes.
Oh, that's right. That's right. A group of people where, hey, listen, I've got this funny guy. I'm the star of the show. Let's bring this funny guy in here. And they had no idea how to use you. They had no idea how to use you.
Okay, so this guy was he drummed up publicity for a science fiction movie that was about to start filming in that country that I mentioned. The film was a strange mix of legends, religious myths. I don't think I want to do any more of this. I'm butchering.
Really?
I'm butchering.
Yeah.
You want to hear me butcher it?
I want to hear this. Just as I'm getting interested in the items of interest, you're going to stop?
All right. So, born in Adams, Mississippi, Limpton attended law school before deciding on a new career path and entering film school at the University of Southern California, USC. Said the so-and-so and so-and-so. After graduating, he landed a publicist job at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and promoted movies including Westworld, 1973, and Alfred Hitchcock's Family Plot, 1976, before venturing into the Star Wars universe. Lipcott later publicized science fiction films such as Alien in 1979 and Flash Gordon in 1980.
Can I just ask a quick question? I hate
Sure,
to interrupt
sure.
you. I know
No,
you're
it's
on a
okay.
roll of your items of interest segment. But at the end of this segment, is it going to be one of these, well, that's all of our time.
No. We're going to get deep into Don.
You want to push your social media? Thanks for coming, Don. Hope to have you again. If we don't have waitresses to bump it. I was surprised I really thought, like at noon today, I'm thinking I'm going to get a text. Oh, listen, Redban wants to do custodians of comedy clubs.
I'd like to get Juan Carlos in here.
Yeah.
He's been at the Comedy Store forever. What a name! If I was a Mexican, that was the name I would want to be.
Then why'd you
Juan
go with
Carlos?
Then why'd you go with Louis Mosier?
He later publicized science fiction films such as The Alien, 1979, and Flash Gordon, 1980. Said the so and so and so and so. His fan-based approach to marketing is now it's what Hollywood does, but he remained humble about his place in cinematic history. I'm just a dweeb, he said, who happened to work on a movie you like. Oh, Jesus. Oh, there it is. Yeah. It's amazing what they do, man. They have people that come up and they match the paint. I mean, these sitcoms, they have people at the artist department or whatever they call them. They come up and they look at little pieces of
Art department.
The art department.
Art department.
They'll look at a piece of palette or a piece of color and they'll match it to everything is like just so perfect, and then they put me on the show.
I really like your studio, Redban.
Thank you.
Is this great?
It's really good.
Anyway, he was a publicist and he did Star
Is
Wars.
that the end?
Yep. What
Could we
about-
go again and kind of like talk about everything
Oh,
again?
the only thing left is I'm sorry. The only thing left is the wisdom. The wisdom
What
and
is
the wit.
that? What is the wisdom in the wind?
These are things we try to figure out.
So will I be part of this?
Oh yeah, you can even read one if you want.
I don't want to read it.
True peace is not merely an absence of tension; it is the presence of justice. Martin Luther King Jr. Quoted in the so and so and so and so. It is impossible to go through life without trust. That is to be imprisoned in the worst cell of all, oneself. Wow. Wow. There are three sides to every story: your side, my side, and the truth. Movie producer Robert or Bob Evans. We lost him not too long ago.
Yeah. He had some good.
Do you think
quote-
Natalie Wood was murdered?
They say she was.
You know how hard you have to hit your head to die? You got to hit. You know how hard you have to hit your head to die?
That's me.
I can't imagine. What did she hit her head on? Anyway, it's suspicious. I don't know. So you don't want to answer that question about Natalie Wood?
I gave you my answer. Do I think that she did?
What about Marilyn Monroe?
From what you understand, yes, absolutely.
Murdered?
You would think.
She had the world. She was a movie star. Why would a movie star kill themselves?
Why would she kill her? Yeah. Well, she
She
had
was- she-
everything.
she was
Well,
in-
but people get depressed. But I think that she started thinking that she was more powerful than a politician.
One of the-
Politicians trump pussy.
Oh, there it is. We're going to get into that right now. One of the difficulties of being alive today is that everything is absurd, but fewer and fewer things are funny. August Hamilton wrote a great thing on Facebook.
When doesn't he write a good thing?
He was talking about comedy as opposed to,
Opposed to what?
usually he says funny jokes, really good jokes, but this was like a statement of the state of comedy and what have you.
Oh, really? What did he say?
He said, "Don't fall victim of this politically correct. You got to say it. People look forward to comics to say it, to tell it the truth, and say what's
And
going
be
on."
Funny. Yeah, well, they're not letting people be funny, and I think that we've got straps on our hands like never before.
That's the guy who borrowed my Cadillac. What's his name again?
Spencer, I think.
Spencer. Yeah, I thought he was just gonna,
Why?
I thought he was just gonna use it, for a little while. It took him a long time to return. I was getting nervous.
Why? What happened?
I guess you get in a Cadillac, you're not in a rush to give it back.
Why'd you loan it to him? You loaned it to him?
Yeah, he said he needed it.
For
You still
what?
have a Cadillac?
No. My last Cadillac was with Bobby Lee. We were going to do a show in Lake Havasu. And
That's the way the stories always start. I was doing a comedy gig with Bobby Lee in Lake Havasu.
we had to wind up taking the bus back. It had the aluminum engine, the El Dorado. I forget what year it was, but the aluminum engine. Why would you make a car with an aluminum engine with the heat?
Yeah.
The heat it's generated by a combustion engine and the block is aluminum. I mean, come on.
If I may
And it was
say
front wheel drive, and it was just.
Okay, I won't say anything.
I had to leave the car there.
See, the more I sit here and watch
Took
you
the bus back.
working, the more I'm saying, yeah, you do have an angry attitude. You have a lot of anger in you.
Oh, just there's a lot of things to be, if you will, angry at.
Are we done with the items of interest yet?
Almost. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet, I don't know. This is. It is with narrow-souled people as with narrow-necked bottles. The less they have in it, the more noise they make in pouring it out. What do we live for if is not to make life less difficult for each other? And that's it. That's the items of interest.
Oh, whoa. That takes up a real chunk of the show, doesn't it?
It's your favorite part of the show?
Far and away.
So let's talk about you now. What's
What would you like to talk about?
let's talk about the Ding Dong Show. Let's talk about the network job and
I don't want to talk about the network job. Who knows what's going to happen with that? May never come back. May never come back. You never know.
David Spade's show, Comedy Central, decided not to bring that back.
Really?
But it'll find.
I think Comedy Central is about to go bankrupt. It seems.
Is it?
Seems like they're just want to run it right into the ground.
Yeah.
All they do is show like all night. You can watch South Park, maybe 40 episodes a night.
Yeah. When that shit starts happening.
What's that?
When that starts happening, you know it's over. When a channel just plays one show on repeat.
Well, it's not the same show, but they play different episodes. I mean, but that's kind of good, late night. Oh, what are we going into now, if I may ask?
No, I just want to talk to you. I have a letter I could read. I could read some.
Why don't you read Why don't we start out with a letter? You always like to read letters. Why don't we
Okay.
start out with a letter?
This letter was written in '92.
Can I see it?
I guess I was in a mood to write letters in that year. This one is to my friend Bill Lins, who lives in Dallas, Texas. It says, "Dear Bill, enclosed is a copy of my days off for 1992. Let's try real hard to get together. Between the days I have off and the days that I can take off, I can spend time in Dallas.
I did that one time with a guy for a podcast that I was supposed to be on. And I said 3 weeks before it came out, yeah, hey, I've got my break on this week. Can we do it then? I said the next week, 2 weeks before, hey, can we do it then? Yeah. A week before, yep. Well, hey, next week, next Tuesday, I can do it. We said, yep. And then on the Thursday before, I get a message. No, Redban wants to do a bunch of waitresses on the show.
We're making it up to you now, Don.
Oh, this is making it up to me?
I can spend time
Okay, you want to start it over?
all right. Enclosed is a copy of the days off for 1992. Let's try real hard to get together. Between the days I have off and the days that I can take off, I can spend some time in Dallas. I always have a good time when I go to Dallas. But you must remember, I'm visiting you. You've got my days off. You've got to tell me when. I can't just drop in whenever. Nobody likes to be just dropped in on by a brick shit house from L.A. So do your best to get back to me, and let's get together." And that's not the end of the letter, but I want to add, don't you love these people that say, come on over and visit anytime, but they never invite you? What am I supposed to do, show up and knock on the door? You know.
That's the anger coming out right there again. You really are an angry person.
No, come over and visit anytime, but you never get them to tell you when. Okay, second and last paragraph. I got a card from your parents, and we'll send them a card soon. I haven't heard from Michael. I guess the Christmas card I sent him in New York was a little much. He'll get over it. Tell him I want an invitation to his wedding, and I promise I won't get drunk and pass out like I did at your wedding. Maybe just a little drunk. Do say hello to Sandy and your baby daughter, who I am looking forward to seeing. That's a lie. Say hello to Thomas as well. That's his brother.
Thomas Ward is his brother.
I hear he's a homo. Oh, no, not a homo, a homeowner. Give him my regards and hope to see him too when I visit Dallas. I'll see you soon. You have my days off, and if I don't hear from you by December, I'll know that you didn't take this letter seriously, and you don't want me to visit, and that you don't like me very much. Hope to see you soon.
Okay, that's a wonderful letter. May I just ask one question about it? Is that okay to follow up questions about a letter? The question is, how does that have anything to do with what you've talked about, me, or anything coming up in the show?
It's just another segment of the show. I'm
Reading
trying
letters
to
from
bring a lot
1990.
of different things to the podcast, that's
Oh.
all. I mean, who doesn't want to hear a letter? Who doesn't want to hear a letter? Nobody writes letters anymore.
But there is nothing in that letter that has anything to do with anything.
Did he ever get back to you?
No.
Wow. Have you talked to him since?
No. I talked to Thomas, but I don't feel like it's reciprocal. So,
I really think that part of the problem
if you're
is
the only one calling everybody, then why should, it's got to be a two-way street.
you were drunk and you passed out at his wedding. He's probably never talking to you again.
So, Don, do you want to do some sports?
I want to do anything.
Do you want to do 10 questions?
Sure, I'll do
tell
10
me
questions.
what you want to talk about.
I'd
told
like
you
to do anything at all. I had a question that you haven't answered, so if you have questions for me, I'll at least try to answer it.
All right, let's do 10 questions with Don.
And then I have one question for you after.
You want to question me first?
Sure. Why have you ruined my friend Karen Wyeth's life?
She's going to be just fine as soon as she gets the help she needs. She'll be just fine. I know a good therapist. I will get her in touch with her. Okay.
Why don't you come on a show with her again?
Yeah, arrange it.
All right, this Friday.
We're going to do it in the street.
No, we'll do it on Zoom, so you don't have to go
Oh,
anywhere.
Zoom would be fun.
Would you do it?
Oh, yes.
All right, I'll get back in touch with you about it.
Tell her to wear the little schoolgirl outfit.
Let me write this down. School love.
All right.
I think she threw it away. I think that's what we found out the last time.
All right, Don, you ready for the 10 questions?
Yes.
There are no wrong answers, and you don't have to answer them if you don't want to. All right. Where would you go in the world if it was a completely expense-paid trip? Food, gratuities, airfare, hotel, souvenirs, taxis, bike rentals, anything you do on vacation, portrait studios, pictures, clothing. Everything was paid for. Drinks, happy hour, desserts, snacks, the food in the bar, in the beverage, in the little refrigerator in the hotel. Everything's paid for.
Where would I go?
Where would you go?
I guess couple months ago.
I'd go to Arkansas. I've always wanted to see Arkansas. And then I'd go to Oklahoma City to see the J.C. Penney. Yeah, that's where I want to go. And then we'll go down to Tallahassee, Florida and see Aunt Marge. Oh, yeah, we'll take a rental car and we'll have a good time. That's enough to see in America. I don't need to go overseas. Hell, I don't even have a passport. America's just what I need. I don't need anything else. The Grand Canyon.
What's the name of that character you're doing right there? What's its name? By the way, the first question that I get a chance to answer, you interrupt with some character that I don't even know his name. And, okay, where would I go?
Where would you go?
A couple months ago, I would have liked to have gone to Redban Studio to do a podcast with you, but I was bumped by a bunch of waitresses.
There's no wrong answers. Thank you, Don.
All right.
Number 2. Do you like blondes or brunettes?
What is Karen Wyeth right now?
She's a dirty blonde and a dirty little girl, a dirty little cupcake. Come on over here, Karen, so I can lick that cupcake. Okay, so blondes. Blondes. Everybody likes blondes.
Karen Wyeth.
Question number 3.
By the way, have you seen Mary Jane's blonde hair?
I have.
She's pretty, right?
Oh, my God. But I got to watch what I say. I
Yeah.
don't want to say anything out of line, but she's beautiful. You know that.
Thank you. Go on.
Number 3. What was your best comedy experience?
Well, a couple months ago, I had been booked to do this show, and I brought my family, and they were so proud they were going to come out and they were going to wait on the street while I did this podcast with you, but you guys had them, but they came here, and we had nowhere to go because you brought the waitresses here. Question number 4. Go ahead.
Do you know Joe Coy?
Joe Coy? No.
Do you know
Who's
anybody who does?
Who's Joe Coy?
He's a half Mexican, half Filipino comic.
Is he funny?
I think he is.
Oh, good.
I want to meet him. Do you know him?
I don't know him. I don't know. How would I know him?
If anybody knows Joe Coy, could you have him get a hold of me, please? I want him
Why?
on.
You
I
want
wanna-
to have him on the show?
I want to have him on the show. I want to meet him. I saw him on the television. You know,
Really?
the guy really.
So you're in a power position that you can just like pick somebody and then have them come in.
Well, I can only ask. He's probably too busy.
Is that how you find your lovers too? Hey, I like that model. Bring her here. You have your management.
Not in
get
front of
touch-
the men. Not in front of the men. Okay.
Oh, that's Joe Coy right there.
Yeah, he's a heavy hitter, man. I seen him. Look at those teeth. That's got to be store-bought teeth. Look at those teeth. They're perfect. That's perfect show
Let me
business
see another
teeth.
shot. Maybe I do know this guy.
It's the funniest thing in the world now to see 80-year-old men. When I went down to Florida, Fort Walton Beach, I seen Bill Linz. He's got to be in his 80s. Perfect teeth. Teeth of a 25-year-old. All these old people today, they got perfect teeth. They're not cheap either. There's like $40,000 to get all new teeth. I need new teeth, but I'm not going to pay that kind of money for new teeth. Look at those teeth. Perfect. Look at the bottoms. They gotta be, man-made teeth. They can't be natural. You can't have that kind. Filipinos and Mexicans, they can't have that kind of teeth. Especially if you're half. If you got Mexican teeth and Filipino teeth in the same mouth, come on. Filipino teeth, they have rows of teeth behind rows of teeth. They have like 480 fucking teeth, Filipinos. I mean, that's why everything sounds like boo, boo, boo.
That may be the second most racist thing you've said.
That's not racist. It's just it's genetics. It's genetics. I've seen Filipinos with rows of teeth behind their teeth. Unbelievable.
That's a lie.
If they bite you, you'll see two sets of.
You're attached.
You'll see two sets of teeth.
Let's go to question 5. Let's go to question 5. Because question 4 had no way that it was a no answer. Now
what was your best comedy experience? Number 4. Who was your favorite movie star?
For reals?
Oh, these are just questions. You can answer them. If for reals is your answer, that's it. I can't help you answer these questions. These are just questions.
But what are you looking for?
I can't tell you what I'm
Like
looking for.
if I said Jack Nicholson, would you be pissed off at me?
No, he's a great actor. He's different in every role he plays. He's not like Tom Hanks. It's always Tom Hanks. It's always the same character. It's the Tom Hanks character. Every movie that he's ever been in is Tom Hanks.
Have you ever seen Access TV? They have a movie playing right now with with Jack Nicholson and Robert De Niro. Did you know they did a movie together?
What was the name of it?
Something Royal.
That's close. That's a good hint. Something what?
Royal.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I'll bet you.
What is this, Wheel of Fortune?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you this.
I don't know.
You have a guy over there that all he has to do is go in 1 second. If you put in Jack Nicholson, Robert De Niro movie together, I'll bet you something would come up. And I'll bet you it's something.
This is the dead air portion of the
Last
show.
Tycoon.
Last Tycoon. That was it.
You saw it? You liked it? You loved
No,
it?
I heard it was terrible. But who's this actress right here? Who is that?
Very nice room.
I don't know.
She looks familiar.
Yeah, she does.
She's the actress that was able to get that part because of her acting skill and her ability to transform her feelings to the other actors and actresses on the set. It had nothing to do with sex. It had nothing to do with casting couches. It had nothing to do with giving up your body in order to secure a role in a major motion picture.
Okay, let's go to the next question.
Okay, question number 5. What was or what is your favorite movie?
Windy City Heat.
Oh, that was it. I know I wasn't in it. I should have been in it. It's
You
because I didn't want to go to lunch.
No, it wasn't because you didn't go to lunch. You might have lost it when you went to lunch. But somebody wanted to meet you.
Who?
A producer that
Who?
wanted to meet one of the producers that was in charge of putting you in the movie.
So he wanted to be able to sign off on who was in the movie.
That's the way it works.
Yeah, well, it doesn't work that way with me. Okay, let's move on. You should have said that.
Okay.
I thought you were just inviting me to lunch.
No, I told you that. I told you a million times that.
Number 6, what was your favorite subject in high school? I don't know. I don't know.
PE.
Physical education, sports. Wait,
Yes.
very good. Number 7, are you a Jehovah's Witness?
No, I'm not. But you know something interesting about the Jehovah's Witnesses?
We had one on the show once.
Did you really?
He denied it the whole time.
Really? I know somebody who's trying to be, he is one. He's been accepted into their little clique. And one of the things, so trying to learn about the Jehovah's Witnesses, one of the things that they won't let you do is they don't want you playing chess. Why do you think that is? Let's see if you know that. You're a big talk show host.
They don't want you to play
Chess, the game of chess.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
do you think that is?
Nah, that's a hard one. I don't know.
If you want to go to your help over there, Redban can pipe in too if you'd like.
You could always just tell us.
I could tell you. But you know what? We could go on and we could go back to items of interest and you could recap them again or ask questions that have nothing to do with me. But the reason that they do that, because chess is a game that you have to have strategy. And you have,
Strategically.
strategically. You have to play with strategy, and they don't want you thinking. They want you just to be dull as hell, just so you give them money.
They're saying that chess has always been a game of war since it originated.
Yes.
Originated.
What effect does playing chess have on one? Is a wholesome effect? There's a question regarding. Yeah, because you've got it. I think Monopoly is a greedy commercialistic game that witnesses. Oh, wow. Oh, this is what the Jehovah Witnesses say?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Playing cards of any sort is showing support for the royal family, the beast.
I think Monopoly is a greedy, commercialist game that witnesses in good standing would not play. Playing cards of any sort is showing support for the royal family and the beast. So I could write for Awake too.
Awake is their big magazine that they put out.
Yeah,
They don't give blood transfusions, too.
Yeah.
You
And
can
they-
bleed to death right there on the carpet.
And they only
won't call
celebrate
the
one.
alarms.
They don't celebrate holidays at all, except one. What's the holiday they celebrate? Jehovah Witnesses, for 2 points.
Halloween?
No. Do you know, Redban?
Don't wake up, Redban.
Passover.
Number 8, do you hate your mother?
Yes.
Number 9, do you hate your ex-wife? Or does
It's
not
never
apply?
married. Does not apply.
Number 10, have you ever considered hurting yourself?
Yes.
And the bonus question, one law.
Do I get extra points if I get this one? How have I done on the points? Was I right on all of them so far?
There are no wrong or right
Okay,
answers.
then let's
Don.
go to the-
I wouldn't put you on the spot like
Let's
that.
go to the bonus question.
The bonus question is, if you could change one law, what would it be?
That you can't hurt my friend Karen Wyeth like you have. And if you do, there should be some kind of problems that you go through. All right, what are we doing next?
You want to do some sports?
Sure.
How are we doing on time, Redban?
Hour 40.
Yeah, I gotta,
Hour and 40. I've talked for about 5 minutes now.
let's do some birthdays.
How long is your show, just out of curiosity?
It usually runs about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
About the time that woman was up in space.
Okay, go on.
Juliet, Andrew McDonald is, how old do you think she is?
I'm going to say 27.
63.
50.
You know, 27's the year that Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, and Jimi Hendrix all passed away. Kurt Cobain, too,
What year?
when they were 27.
Julia, trained singer and Tony Award-winning Broadway star, is a regular on CBS The Good Fight, 50 years old. Okay, how about Beck? How old do you think Beck is, the musician?
48.
So we're going through birthdays of celebrities. Not that...
July 8th.
Name 4 Beck songs. Name 4 Beck songs.
I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me?
That's one.
I have the album. I can't name
Well,
it.
there's numerous albums. He has
They're
more than
good
one
albums. I like the one where they're breaking shit and you lose it.
Remember when I made you a CD filled with Red Hot Chili Peppers stuff?
Right? Still have it.
You loved it, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. It's a good band. So Beck was born on July 8th, musician known for Oddly Made and his latest album, Hyperspace, with Pharrell Williams.
Pharrell.
So did we say how old do you think he is?
He said
48.
48. I say 42.
50.
Wow.
Jane Lynch, July 14th, Glee actress,
Great actress.
will join pop queen Sydney Lopner for a future Golden Girls-style romp on Netflix.
Can I just ask you this? Do you rehearse this at all? Like, do you look at the names and
No,
realize it's
Redban-
Cyndi Lauper? Cyndi Lauper.
Redban and I, we like a real fresh show. All right, how old do you think Jane Lynch is?
59.
I'm gonna say 53.
60. Okay. Ann Wilson, June 19.
Can I
Singer
tell you-
rocked Barracuda and other heart hits
Yeah.
with Sis Nancy on Love is Alive
I'm gonna say
tour last year.
64. 64.
Ann Wilson?
Ann Wilson.
Redban?
62.
Crazy on you, Ann Wilson.
70.
Wow.
Really? I knew she was older than
70.
60.
So she's wearing Depends. You know she is. Because you don't want any leakage,
All right,
especially you're at a
let me
cocktail
ask you
party
this.
or getting an award.
Do you know
for
what
something.
year their first album came out?
I think it was 1977.
1976.
Damn. I knew it was that way.
Is it written right there?
No.
Okay.
No, I know my music. I've always
No, you
been a
don't.
connoisseur of music.
No, you don't.
Okay, Richard Branson, July 18th, billionaire, Brits Virgin Galactic Adventure plans to offer suborbital space flights for tourists. How old do you think he is?
70.
71.
70. We have a winner, Redban. And we have Patrick Stewart, acting great revelist, his most famous
71.
role
71.
in the new Star Trek Picard
71.
on CBS All Access, July 13th. How old do you think he is, Redban?
80.
80. Yeah.
Come on, Don. I said it first.
I saw. Yeah. Well, you were the one that brought up the Wikipedia with his 1940 when he was born.
80 years old.
Yeah.
So come on, I want to talk to you. Talk to us.
Oh, you're going through all these questions.
well,
What do you
I
want-
have to do
What do
something.
you want to talk about? What do you want to
I
talk
want
about?
you to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Okay. I've tried to bring up numerous times about
Tell
what
the
you.
audience where you're from, at least.
I'm from a little place called Michigan. Thank you.
And that's a guy. That's coming from a guy from Ohio.
Yeah, I know where he's from. Notice I paid no attention to him.
So, you know,
How are you handling this? It's driving me crazy.
what is that?
The fucking COVID-19. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. Holy shit.
It's really inconvenient.
Holy
isn't it?
fucking shit.
You got-
Everything. For years, I've planned all this shit. I've got it all set. Go to my work during the day, make my money, go to the comedy store every night, perform
Fraser
there.
Smith.
Fraser Smith.
I remember when I heard you on Fraser Smith, I said to myself, I said,
He was fired.
oh no.
Yeah.
When did you hear that?
I heard Howard Stern talking about it the other day.
How would he know?
I think the radio station laid off every DJ.
Not everyone, but they laid off a lot
This
of
is a
them.
new company that just bought it too. That's why they moved it to Burbank from Culver City. A whole new organization bought it. Is this true? How do you know this? How would
Because-
Stern know? What does Stern know? All he
Because-
cares about is his cats and his girlfriend who
He was
loves
talking-
animals.
right,
And he's
okay.
going to therapists to
Exactly.
say, oh, he was so upset with what he did years ago, you know? That was your stick. That's what you were doing. You were doing it
Exactly.
to generate a good show. And now he's trying to walk it back.
Right.
Oh, I need therapy because of what I did.
They came at him really hard this week because of
Blackface.
blackface. Yeah.
He should stand up for what he did at the time he did it. But I think that wife softened him up, just took his backbone right off. Just took it. He's just form a shell.
Yeah, when he started like talking about Dances with the Stars and shit every day, I was like, all right, this is not what I signed up for. I stopped listening to him about 10 years ago almost.
I know somebody that's writing a book about Howard Stern, and what they're doing is they're writing the book about when he went bad and this guy's belief, and he's going to put the whole book about this. When do you think he says that the book, when Howard Stern started getting weak, what do you think the first thing that happened was?
As soon as he met that playboy cat-loving wife of his.
Some people, this guy feels that Jimmy Kimmel had a lot to do with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's an angle that he's taken.
What did Jimmy do exactly?
Well, he became his friend, and it just, and then it was, boy, I'll tell you.
I like the way ABC
I'm going to miss
lets
this.
Jimmy say whatever he wants. I like that.
Well, I think that they kind of believe that. Disney's kind of behind anti-Trump shit.
Yeah, they're watering down this NFL. This is NCAA.
This is the
Yeah.
NCAA, but, ooh.
Now, which is it? Which is
That's Michigan State and the white, Michigan and the blue.
NCAA is you got to have 2 feet in, and the NFL is
No,
1 foot.
No, it's 1 foot in NCAA football. 1 foot.
So they're
and-
both 1 foot.
No. Pro ball, you have to have both feet in.
Isn't that a bitch?
Not really. They know the rules, and it's how they play it.
What
and
do you
sometime-
think?
And some. Oh, I remember this game. Oh, fuck.
This is
All they had to do was punt the ball away. All they had to do was punt the ball away, and they won the game.
oh, look, these college students will never be the same.
All they had to do was punt.
They'll be crying about that game and crying in their beer and smacking their wife around for the rest of their life.
And that's when Michigan was good.
Oh my God! It's
Well, but
it's
if
the
you look,
saddest-
Michigan State was number 7. Michigan was number 12.
It's the saddest thing in the whole world when a college student sees his team lose when they were winning. It's just it crushes them emotionally. You know, they're the guy in the cubicle at work that just never seems to
Ohio State.
Yeah.
just to fit in with the coworkers. Doesn't always brings his lunch in a dirty
Look at
little
them.
paper
Look
bag.
at all the tattoos that they bought.
Never gets a promotion and usually prone to divorce and driving around with a car with a dent that never gets fixed. Their whole life is ruined when their football team loses. It's just, they put all their eggs in a basket that gets dropped. It's terribly sad. You want to do some sports while we're watching it?
I don't know what you want to do. I don't know what
We're
you
going
want
to
to
talk about some important
All
sporting
right, well,
events.
but you know
in
nothing
history.
about sports. Okay, what do you want to know?
No,
All right,
it's not what I
19
want to know. I just want to know if you want to talk about
Sure,
it.
1970. Who kicked the record field goal against the Detroit Lions for the longest field goal ever kicked? It's since been tied and then broken.
Ray Dawson.
No.
Was it Ray Dawson?
Oh, Kronos cough.
Yeah, that's what people are doing now. It happened to me in 7-Eleven. We all had masks on, and this guy was buying cigarettes and complaining about the price of cigarettes and holding up the line. And then when he got near the door, he coughed just to like,
Oh, God.
yeah, people are doing that now. I saw it.
I tell you, like, it is nerve-wracking, though, when you are in a place like 7-Eleven and you do have to cough, and you're like, you don't want to cough
Well,
because you don't want to.
I try to be like that. I really do try to be that. There was a guy, he looked like he was dead, and he weighed about 340 pounds, and he was walking around in the grocery store, and I heard him at one point, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I see him, and he gets in line right behind me, and he kept creeping up, and he's standing as close as we are right now, and I thought, fuck. Sorry that, you were busy doing something else, so. What are you doing there, Brian?
This comic, this Jason Glenn says, I'm almost there.
Jason Galern's almost here.
Helmet's over. Yeah, this is a great video if anyone wants to watch it. It's every football loss since 2015 Michigan loss. It's great.
Oh, I was wondering why. What the fuck? Every game they're losing. It's like, fuck. He won't even give you his number. Yeah, there's a chance of him coming.
So there's been no talk, Don, with Kimmel, like when there's a possible chance to come back? Or?
I think that it's a good question. Finally, a good question here. Thank you very much, Redban. There's been no talk about that.
Was that a dig at me?
No, why would you even think that?
I don't know. Sounded like it was a dig at me.
Oh, he wants nothing to do with you.
Hey, Brian, remember when me and you were supposed to go see Stern at Kimmel? And then Don, we took off work and we drove there and we paid for parking and then, we really changed our schedule around that. And then Don told us to fuck off.
I didn't tell you to fuck off. As usual, they, I even said the day before, I said, is there going to be a problem with me bringing people tomorrow? And they said, no way. And then I think the day of the show, Jimmy wanting to make sure Howard felt good, they closed the green room.
I'm so sorry. I forgot I bought some food.
So you're gonna eat now? What a great host. What a fucking host.
I'm so sorry. I forgot about the hamburgers.
Thank you. Oh, they're piping hot. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
I'm so happy, Don, that you came back on the show, but I think I don't want to end up like we ended up on the last show. Please talk to us.
I'm trying to talk to you.
Tell
But
us about you.
What do
I
you
mean,
want to? You have to ask a question.
Well, that's why I do
All right.
that.
Well, listen.
Oh,
you know,
I
you
have
want
to
to you want to know what's going on?
Tell
Here's
me
the
about outboard motors. Do you know
Okay.
anything about boats? Let's talk about boats.
I don't want to talk about boats. You want to know what's going on? Here's the fucking thing. Everything was going wonderful. Every night I was performing at the Comedy Store, closing it out, going a half an hour, going an hour, going 90 minutes every fucking night. Having a job every day, going around. You have them cut the hamburger in half for you?
It's got to be cut in half.
Okay. And since then, I went from doing that, and it's in my blood that I have to perform because it's been probably 17, 18 years that that's been going on every single day. When I'm out of town, like if Kimmel goes to New York or something, I would go to New York, and sometimes I'd find places to go there and perform. So every night, every day I perform. Now I have nowhere to perform. I am hosting a potluck every night at 8 o'clock. I do a Zoom show every Friday night. I still do a Ding Dong show every Monday, but now it's on Zoom. Every fucking thing is going bad. I fucking hate it. I want this to be over. What else would you like to talk about?
You know, when this all first happened, you're the first person I thought about, Don, because you're right. Because every single night you're at the Comedy Store for years and years and years, and it's been such a, thing in your life that's normal every single day. And so when not being at the store, I thought about you. For like the first couple of weeks, I was like, oh, I wonder how Don's taking this. But that's good that you found online Zoom at least that can kind of.
Well, at least gives me the okay. Well, I got to get back home. I got to be home by 8 because I got to do this. The fucking worst. The fucking worst. What are you doing with this game?
Nobody saw it coming. All of a sudden, the year was kind of normal, and then around March, the whole bottom fell out.
Yeah, March 12th, it all went down. I remember waking up to it's you.
Yeah, my last show was March 11, Wednesday evening.
Yep. Me too. I closed out the original. I remember saying, and people were like, really? No, it won't be. I said, this might be the last show you people see here for a long time. And they said, no, that's not true. It is fucking torture. What would Mitzi be doing? Oh, open it up.
They could cut the roof off, and that would give more circulation with the air.
But you know what? I did hear this. I heard that they are prepared if something, if they do say that they can open again. They have a plan of what's going to... Will you take this off, please? I don't like watching Michigan getting killed. Fuck, man. It's not funny.
Did you see the new movie with Staten Island, King of Staten Island or something?
Did you watch it?
With Bill Burr and
Yeah.
the guy from Saturday Night Live.
Davidson.
He's the one that wanted everybody to sign a release in the audience.
For what?
That they couldn't talk about what they saw.
When did that happen? Where at? Did he do it at the Comedy Store?
I don't know if he did it more than once or not. It was a big deal. Everybody wanted to. It was the first time that a comic had told the whole audience they have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, I think is what it was. Yeah. And that they couldn't discuss it, his comedy show. Anyway, he's in a new movie now with Bill Burr, and it's getting pretty good reviews because of it's the director of the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Muskegon Heights. I'm looking at the 10 worst cities in Michigan.
Is this your hometown?
No.
They're all kind of the same, though. All the cities.
Yeah, this is it's a nice boarded-up building. Oh.
Have you seen on Sunset Boulevard, there are 2 blocks of every fucking business closed with boards on it?
Melrose, and it's pretty sad.
I went through Melrose and I put up a picture of like some of the stuff. And somebody wrote me, hey, I noticed that all you do is you write about your shows, and now you're putting about what's going on in your city. Maybe if you thought of what's happened to the black people, you wouldn't be doing, oh, fuck you, man. No, thank you. Thank you very much, so.
Redban, you're on the one.
I'm good. I'm good.
Where's this?
This is dead air. This is dead air. You're on dead air right now.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? How excited are you right now?
I was very excited.
Tell me about other podcasts. What should I be doing? What can I do to improve this podcast? do you think?
Saginaw. There's my hometown right there.
Oh, it's number 8 of the worst city in Michigan.
Actually decline in mid-Michigan. Saginaw has the 5th worst unemployment rate, the 8th worst crime rate, and home values are in the state's bottom 10%. However, we have to mention that Saginaw has a ton of red box rental machines in town, where you can check out all the latest movies.
That's cool.
Benton Harbor. Oh, this is. Why are you doing this to me?
So Don, tell
You
me
made
how.
me come on here and face this guy who does an hour and a half of items of interest, and
Tell
not
me-
one thing was interesting.
Tell me how you could how I could improve this podcast.
You know, talk to Redban. Redban's the guy.
No, I'm asking. You're the guest today. Can you contribute, please?
I've tried to contribute. Every time I do that, I've asked you questions that you refuse to answer. Yes. And what could you do? I think get some of your guests here that show up on time instead of like an hour and a half into the show saying, hey, I'm like less than
I'm
half
on
an
my
hour
way.
away. Yeah. Why don't you get 10 positive things about the state of Michigan?
This is not found.
Dumb laws from the grave. Oh, jeez.
Have you heard when the Comedy Store is opening back up? Do you have any insight, Don?
I was told in their thing they really want it to open in July.
Maybe they need to break up the United States into 4 different countries. What do you think of that?
No.
Why not?
Why? Because you
Everybody
know what?
would get along better.
No, they wouldn't.
They all go to their
No, they wouldn't.
their
No, they wouldn't. And you know what? It's nice to have Los Angeles and New York in the same country you live in. 2 powerful cities.
Wow.
Or whatever. Persons may not be drunk on trains. It is illegal to kill a dog using what is that?
A decompression
Decompression chamber. Adultery is illegal, but can only be punished upon complaint by the affected husband or wife. No man may seduce or corrupt an unmarried girl unless he risks 5 years in prison. The last Sunday in June, that's coming up. Every year was named Log Cabin Day. Cars may be not sold on Sunday.
Yeah, seems like a Michigan thing to do. Can't even buy a car on a Sunday.
I know. What's wrong with those people?
Okay.
It's like adopted people. It's like the whole state's filled with adopted
All right,
people.
so I bring up interesting stuff about, how I felt. I asked you how you've been handling. Do you miss it? It's in your blood, isn't it? I'm going fucking nuts, man. I'm going fucking crazy. I'm going out of my fucking mind. I'm going out of my motherfucking mind.
Do you want me to give you the number of the counseling that Karen Wyeth is using? Maybe they can walk you through some of these issues.
When you see her, when you talk to her on Friday, ask her why she gets up at 6 in the morning. What the fuck does she have to do during this coronavirus?
Don. Don.
Hey, it's Pop. Yeah, I gotta tell you, boy. Yeah, I'll take-
That's
hey,
Mr. Show Business right there.
Hey, how about that coronavirus, boy? Grrr.
Do you think that he was fooling around on his wife on,
Yes.
on those USO tours with
I
all
heard-
those young girls?
I heard that there was he had writing meetings like every Thursday or something like that, and his writing meetings with his writers got together and he went and fucked somebody for years. But who am I?
That was just from 8 parking meters.
I love his style. It's so fucking bad. Hey, I gotta tell you. Hey, how about that Lonnie Anderson, boy? I'd like to eat a log of her shit, huh?
Yeah, these were the second summer games held in Los Angeles, and 150 million was the pot of gold at the end of the smog. 150 million. The Russians should stay home every year. That's all I want to say.
That's what I gotta tell you, boy. Hey, I want to let you know, boy. Hey, how many chicks out there want to suck my cock?
So tell us a little about yourself, Don.
What would you like to know? What would you like to know? Well, you've never asked me anything about me. What would you like to know about me?
How do you feel about the?
Feel about what?
How do you feel about the?
You're a master host, by the way. You know, I'll tell you this. If I had to say, you know, I think it hit its peak, train your items of interest, but...
All right, we're at the part of the show now where we want to, plug anything that you want to plug.
Oh, we're at the end of the show?
Well, when
Hello?
Redban puts up Bad Ashley, I know it's time to close the show.
Who's Bad Ashley?
That's the band from Queens that lets us use their music as our intro.
Oh,
and our
really?
Yeah, they
exit
wrote a
music.
song for Brian Holtzman.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Hello? All right. I was trying to get Karen Wyeth on the show.
So do you want to plug anything? Or,
Oh, yeah. I'm about to open up on my website a Big 3 premium page where you can see all these great old, new videos that I've never seen before. That's coming up very soon. Every Friday, I'm doing my Simply Don, the Zoom show. Is there going to be a custodian coming in here and sweeping while I'm doing this? Because I noticed you can't pay attention for one fucking second when I'm talking. I'm sorry. Let's see.
Start from the beginning. I'm sorry. I get my full attention.
I'm not. I don't need to do it again. I'm
gonna-
just saying.
I'm not going to think about anything else.
If you want to, do you even know how to get in touch with me on Twitter?
At Don Barris.
Simply Don One. It's Simply Don One.
Simply Don.
What if you wanted to go to Facebook? Where would you go?
Simply Don Barris.
Don Paris is exactly right. What if you wanted to go to my Instagram?
At Don Barris.
Simply Don One.
One.
Simply Don One.
Two. Is it two?
No,
or one?
no.
One.
Okay. That's hopefully this thing's over soon.
You're going to come back?
Yeah. Brian, I've always loved you. You just always treat me like shit from the days
No,
that
that's
you
not
would.
true.
Yeah, it is. When you used to always, you'd never take any weed. You'd always smoke my pot. You never bring any of your own. From those days, tell me one thing you've ever done for me.
One time, I picked you up in my private car when you were walking down Sunset. You remember
Holy
that?
shit. Why don't I have to? I remember, boy, at one point I had over 10,000. Is this Twitter? Mm-hmm. At one point I had over 10,000 followers. I guess a lot of people didn't want to follow me anymore.
Oh, I wish you followed me.
I don't follow anybody.
Yeah, there's 92 people. I wonder who else is more important than me.
All right, let's see.
I have a
Schizo surfers.
I have a YouTube channel. It's called the Holtzman Zone, and you'll have over 260-second or less videos that have done
Brian Holtzman.
recently, and that's the Holtzman Zone.
Yeah, you know when I followed him?
And
At the beginning of his presidency, when I thought, oh, this guy will be interesting to follow.
and it's Death Squad TV.
Death Squad TV. I do follow that.
I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Vimeo, and I'm
Venmo.
on Cameo, and I'm on
Sure.
what else? I got
I wonder why I followed Cher.
Twitter and Facebook, and I'm not on that dancing website, Tinko and
TikTok.
TikTok. I'm not on that TikTok. Everybody's
Yeah.
dancing. Leave the dancing up to professionals. I mean, it's like karaoke, you know.
I'm noticing how many people that I'm following are dead.
I know. I mean, you're following the Beatles. They haven't been alive since Twitter was made.
That's not true.
You're
Paul
a big Beatles fan, aren't you? You didn't
Yes.
think they were
Paris
overrated
Hilton.
at all?
Yeah, I went to the very last Paul McCartney concert that he'll ever perform.
If some of these young people out there want to listen to like the Beatles and they're not too sure, what was the major album that they should? What are the two major albums? I think one of them is the White Album. Is that one of them?
I would say this. A lot of people go with Abbey Road.
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road. Excuse me.
Bang, 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 Maxwell's hammer came down upon her head. Bang, 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 she hit him till she was dead. That's a good one.
That's
Is that
from
on
the White
there?
Album. That's from the White Album.
on the White Album?
I'm thinking of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, where a lot of people have said that's the greatest rock and roll album ever. Have you ever heard that?
I think that's my favorite album. Second is probably the White Album.
He blew his head off in a car.
But you know what? They're so good. It's so many ways. I mean, even like their album
Timeless.
Help.
Timeless.
If you look at the album Help and you listen to all the songs and you think, wow, this was music that they wrote for a movie, and every one of them is fantastic, and it's in 1965. Boy, they just were unbelievably great songwriters. And when you really put it down, George Harrison, the third writer on Abbey Road, he wrote two songs, just legendary. The song Something and Here Comes the Sun. People would, if they had those two songs or something equivalent to those two songs, that's a career. And he did that on one album as the third writer of a band.
It's like My Beds Are Burning. One song.
Midnight Oil?
Yeah, Midnight Oil. $1 million song. Why am I? How does it go? My beds are burning. Some kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a little different lyrics than that, but yeah.
You know, you listen to it and you say, "Wow, it's it's a good." Yeah, but what are we talking about? Beds are burning. What is he talking about?
And some political shit. Who cares? It was some political shit of the 80s.
There's a lot of Stones fans, but the Beatles, they wrote songs.
Yeah.
The Rolling Stones.
First Rolling Stone hit was a Beatles song. A song written by the Beatles.
The Rolling Stones, they need better writers, I think.
No, I'll tell you this. There was a period in the 70s, the Rolling Stones, every album they put out was fantastic.
Under my thumb.
If I had to say,
Girl.
do you know anything about the Rolling Stones, Redban?
Yeah, a little. I wasn't a big fan.
Greatest album that they ever had, Some Girls, is my feeling. Some Girls. You don't know anything about that.
Give me a song. Scott Day. I got in touch with Scott Day on the World Wide Web.
Did you really?
He's in.
He's in a drug and alcohol rehab.
Where is he now? I think he's in Africa or someplace.
Is he really? Well, good for him.
He's a world traveler.
Good for him.
Is he? Is it where he said he was?
I don't know. You know what's funny?
Harris Pete called me last night.
Do you know Lauren
Michaels? Saturday
No,
Night
not
Live?
Lauren Michaels. No, Lauren
A lot of
Gold.
people call
Lauren
him-
Gold. Remember Lauren Gold? He was a piano player.
Oh, Lauren. Oh, yeah, the one who got swept off his feet. He was engaged, and the manager just swept him off
right.
his feet with a blowjob that
And
he could.
she was the dirtiest fucking.
She-
You know what he does now?
He opens up. He's
He
a manager.
no.
He plays with a band, a
He
big
plays
band.
with the Who.
Yeah.
He's the keyboardist for the Who.
Imagine
Yeah.
that.
I saw him when Roger Daltrey was touring alone. Roger Daltrey came on Kimmel, and I saw him, and he was like really, really nice.
He must be good to be able to get that
Oh, he's
job.
fucking great. Yeah,
Then why was he at the Comedy Store?
because it's a paycheck, and you're doing music, and it's a paycheck. He always was. He was always
Overqualified for that job.
Absolutely. But now he's. I watched a Who concert today that I saw Lauren Gold right there.
You saw him.
I saw him. Yeah.
Do you have long hair?
Not really.
Yeah, you don't need long hair to play music, do you?
No. And he's dealing with the guys that are in their 70s. So
A lot of people think they need to have long hair to play a musical instrument or sing. That's so. It's over now. Cut your hair. Barbershops are in.
okay. So listen. So this Friday, 10:30 p.m. on Zoom, or excuse me, you can watch it the live feed on YouTube, the Ding Dong Show. I think that's what it'll be on. I'm doing my Simply Don the Zoom show with guests Karen Wyeth, Brian Holtzman. You'll be back together again.
I hope she has something to say for herself this time around.
Well, Brian, I miss you. There's two people in the world that I miss, and one of them is you. But you've always treated me like dog shit, so I've always felt that.
Who shut the microphone on me at the Westwood Comedy
Yeah, I
Club?
shut the microphone off because you tried telling me. And this next guy coming to the stage, please put your, what was his name?
Jamie Kennedy.
Put your hands together for Mr. Jamie Kennedy. And there was Sparky coming up to me. Hey, you know,
That's not him.
That's not Jamie Kennedy.
What?
What? And I said, hey, dude, you got to get off. And you refused to get off. I gave you the light a bunch of times. You refused to get off. You continued to pour your anger out on stage. So I had to turn the mic off to get you off. And it worked.
You did. You shut the mic off.
Any other problems you have with me? Let's get them all out right here before we go. We've got less than 3 minutes. The song's ready to go.
Well, the time that I went to the show,
When you were drunk as shit?
and you acted like you didn't know me. I looked over at you for some help, a little help here. And
What show?
He came in the back parking lot and he started, I'm friends with Don Barris and Guillermo was working out
I went
there
to
at the time.
Gammo, the little spy. I wanted to surprise Don. I said, I'm his manager and I need to talk to Don Barris or something. And he said, oh yeah, I'll go get him, no problem, or something like that. And he went on and he went inside and he got these 2 huge bounces. And now he's a big star on the show. But
And as I pull into the parking lot,
nobody should trust him.
There you are being escorted away. And you said, hey, there he is. I just drove right by you.
Ignored me.
I got my revenge when Stern was on the show, though, didn't I?
Oh, you upset Redban too.
Yeah.
Did I upset you? Redban, there's nothing I could do.
Redban and
There's
Janice.
nothing that I could do. I felt bad for Janice.
Janice was
Janice
crying.
is wonderful. Janice is wonderful. And may I say this? I'm going to say it. I've never said it before. I think Janice could do better.
Hey, Don, are you good with spicy food?
No.
Because I have the world's spiciest chocolate if you just want to take a little piece of
Oh,
it.
no, I can't. But thank you very much. I love you, Redman. Thank you, but I can't do that. All right, so listen, this was nice. You'll have me on again? Because I have some things coming up that I need to push, so I may need to come on the podcast.
Oh, we
It'd be months down the road because I think hell's
because
starting
we're
to freeze.
booked pretty solid for the next I don't know, considerable amount
Who's
of time.
Who's next week's show?
I'm trying to get Peter Chin on the show. I'd like to get Karen Wyeth on the show.
I could arrange that.
I was parking my car down the street, and this woman pulled up in a BMW, and she rolled down her window, and she said, "Do you mind moving your car up? I live here. I want to park here." And I asked her if she wanted to be on the podcast.
No, you didn't.
She said yes.
It's hard to get guests, isn't it?
No, I want real people too, Redban. I don't. Redban doesn't want.
Who have you not, besides me, Redman, who have you not wanted on the show that he tried to get on?
No, everyone. It's more people I just don't know.
Right. Well, if you can do the bookings too, Redban.
Oh, I know. I just don't want to step on your toes and interrupt Don Barris's scheduling.
Oh, wait a minute. He blamed you for me not being on that show.
Yeah, and he blamed me. We want to stick up for one another.
We work together.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting to really who did it. So it was a group effort. You both didn't want me on?
It was a production meeting. We came to a conclusion. We had some input for some satellite voices, and
Well,
we
listen.
thought that the waitresses would be a better show at that time.
How'd that work for you?
very
What'd you find out? One thing about the waitress show that you remember the most, that people will walk away. Whoa, the waitress show. They did this on there.
They were just completely open vessels.
Who was on the show? What
There
waitresses?
was a woman from Poland.
Let's
there
see.
was a
Who was the
Filipino.
Who was the woman from Poland?
And then there was
Who were the women on? Who were the waitresses?
They're all squirters. We learned that.
Who were the waitresses?
the waitresses.
Did you get
the Filipino one?
who's the Filipino one?
And then
The one that hosts the show with
and then the
Brent-
one with the
Brennan?
long hair, the one with the
Oh,
long
right.
hair, and then the one from Eastern Europe
I don't know who that is.
with the dirty blonde hair. And they were just wonderful. They had a great show. They were open. They were drinking and
Nayla, Melissa, Marina, Mariana.
Yeah.
These girls right here.
there they are.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Oh, so I was
Those are the
thinking of
people that came on the show because you were bumped.
Who's the girl next to the girl with the long red hair?
That's the little Filipino.
Oh, and who's the other one?
The one is
Listen, or no, Nelia.
Nailer. Yeah, that's Nailer.
Girl party, no bra.
Oh yeah, they were very open about their cleavage and cleavage. All right, so that's it.
That's it? There's no more?
Well, just tell us anything else you want to talk to us about.
No, there's nothing else to say. I mean, I think we've gone over it. Oh, there's the music. Hey, get your fucking hands off me. I'll leave when I want to leave.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Redban.
Thank you, Redban.
Thanks,
Brian.
everybody listening.
Watch